Hey guys, hope you are well. So, welcome to the Anime Fictions 2.0. This is the story about what if Naruto is full Black Wolf of ANBU. Hope you will love this what if. If you did, do subscribe for more awesome what if. Share with your friends and enjoy them. Check out the other videos I have created. Comment down your opinion. Share with your friends. So, without wasting any time, let's jump into the first part. Chapter 1 Guilty Re-edited. It was a beautiful afternoon back in the hidden village of Konoha. The sun was starting to disappear when a certain blonde chunin could be seen on the horizon, carrying what appeared to be a bloodied black-haired human being after one of the worst fights both had in years. Naruto and Sasuke were locked in a warlike battle, and Naruto had to resort to S-rank ninjutsu, later labeled as by the god Aim Hokage, because of the danger towards the user's arm, and almost killed Sasuke if it wasn't for the curse seal inside his body. Kakashi and Sakura were walking near the gate, talking about Sakura's improvement at medical school, when they stared wittied at the scene in front of them. Naruto appeared in front of the west gate, carrying none other than the Uchiha Sasuke, as they ran towards him with at first happy faces seeing their teammates coming back home. Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, I brought Sasuke back just like I promised I would. Smiled Naruto, panting a little bit from almost chakra exhaustion. I can see that Naruto you did it, but how did you manage to beat him? Asked Kakashi, though he was analyzing Sasuke's exterior for any visible wounds that would answer the question. He didn't need to use his Sharingan to notice some slash and deep cuts on Sasuke's body, showing the usage of level chakra. Gyuuten Rasen Shuriken, it was my only hope, Kakashi-sensei. Sasuke is a true genius, he managed to create a place where he channels the energy of a lightning falling from the sky and contains it with his bare hands. It was a matter of life and death, I had to use that technique, explained Naruto with vigor, since he knew it was something he just used. He was able to contain the energy of a lightning on his hands, quite impressive. It seems similar to my Raikiri, but from Naruto described it's even stronger. Wondered Kakashi as he was trying to improve for quite a while now, and it seemed that the Uchiha genius surpassed him with dot. While Kakashi and Naruto were talking about the battle they had, Sakura was examining the young Uchiha, and it looked like she was astonished at the damage of his internals and bones. It seemed like Sasuke was cut in multiple places, and traces of chakra could be sensed near him, as if one deadly technique did this to him. Sakura now remembered about it that Naruto was able to add chakra to the making it an S-rank ninjutsu, declared by Tsunade because of the fact that damaged the opponent to a cellular level, as well as almost dissipated Naruto's arm in the process, if it weren't for the Kyuubi's power. Naruto, you baka, what did you do to him? His organs and bones are badly damaged, it's a miracle he's still alive, tell me what did you do to him? Demanded Sakura for Naruto to tell her, just so that she could deliver a chakra-infused punch at his face for daring to hurt Sasuke like that. I used the same technique that I used at the Akatsuki member Kakuzu, called Gyuuten Rasen Shuriken. Explained Naruto with strangely little concern towards the pink-haired teammate since he no longer had anything to do with her, except for the fact that she was her teammate. Were you trying to kill him, Naruto? That technique delacerated Kakuzu from what I heard. Why would you resort to something like that unless you wanted to kill him? Right now she was screaming instead of just opening her mouth, as well as channeling chakra to her fist, so as to just wait for the answer and punch him in the face. The way I see it, he's alive and the fact that he would have killed me with his technique had I not used mine, pretty much justifies my choice of action, said Naruto as he got up and now was in a relaxed position while his chakra was being refilled. However, Sakura was far from understanding her teammate's explanation, as her emotions were getting hard to control. The amount of damage to Sasuke's body just put her on edge, and she just couldn't believe Naruto would do this much level of damage to their once teammate. You almost killed him with that technique, Naruto. It's a miracle that his body was able to withstand the damage, observed Sakura, while indirectly accusing Naruto of going overboard and trying to kill Sasuke by using the disguise of trying to save him. However, Naruto took that hint and became immediately angry. He is alive, goddammit, what else do you want from me, Sakura? He used the 2-level curse seal, used that if it hit me, I would be toasted, and now here you are taking his side like I was the bad guy of the whole situation. In case you don't know, Sasuke already tried to kill me once, this would be his second attempt had I didn't use my technique. Said Naruto, trying to reason with the damn banshee. You did try to kill him. Curse you, Naruto, I'll tell Tsunade-sama about this, you'll be out of shinobi duty. You used it on a fellow shinobi of the leaf. Go ahead, Sakura. Tell her what I did. Tell her that I brought back a Nukenin and not anyone, Konoha precious Uchiha, and tell her that you threatened to leaf shinobi by channeling chakra through your fist in order to punch me. Sakura, Sasuke is no leaf shinobi, he made that clear when he left. But if you want your precious so much, do what you feel like. I'm heading home, I need a shower. Said Naruto as he vanished, leaving Kakashi and Sakura carrying a hurt Sasuke towards the Hokage's office. By this time, every villager knew that the demon almost killed the last Uchiha and they were demanding his head on a platter. After a while, two Chunins told Sakura, Naruto and Kakashi that the Hokage needed to talk to them regarding Naruto's S-rank mission in order to capture Sasuke and if not possible, kill him. At Tsunade's office . In the office, there was Tsunade next to Sakura and Shizune asking Naruto to give them the mission report of his mission. Naruto described the mission, more specifically about how he and Sasuke were fighting equally, both using elemental ninjutsu to the extreme, when Sasuke transformed to the Cursed Seal level 2 and started rushing at Naruto with intent to kill. After Naruto managed to kick Sasuke on the stomach, Sasuke went flying, with chakra channeled through his feet. Last, Naruto said that Sasuke used an ultimate that focused on actual lightning and would throw it at him. So, Naruto used his and won the battle, bringing him back. Tsunade-sama, Naruto should be punished because he tried to kill a fellow shinobi. He even used it against a fellow shinobi, there is no excuse for such an act. Said Sakura, earning deadly stares from Naruto who by now was cursing himself for all those times in the past when he thought he had a crush on her. Sakura, for all I know, Sasuke is a Masengan because he ran off Konoha, leaving Naruto no penalty regarding possible murder intent towards the Uchiha traitor. But Naruto, I see that your arm doesn't hurt anymore. So, since you molded the technique with better control, I'll take the from the scroll, smiled Tsunade, waving Sakura's attempts for her master to punish the blonde for what he did to her Sasuke-kun. Yes, since my chakra control is better, I could do the technique without damaging my arm. However, my arm isn't badly injured, it suffered little but present pain. I need to have better chakra control for the technique to work without any danger to my body. Tsunade-sama began to talk to Sakura but was interrupted by Naruto, who decided that a little fact had to be said to the pink banshee. Sakura, at first I thought you were a nice person, but after this I realized that you're just a stupid fangirl that, even though Sasuke dumped you several times, you still protect him. I expected a lot better coming from you, but I guess I was wrong. Tsunade-sama, if you don't need anything, can I get some rest? I need a shower. You're dismissed, Naruto, good job. Said Tsunade, smiling from the outside and wondering about the bachan that Naruto used to call her, which apparently got to her nerves, but now that he didn't say it, she felt like she wanted him to call him bachan, well at least not call her Hokage-sama. When Naruto vanished from sight, Kakashi looked at Sakura with such pity and also shunshine to meet Naruto. With Naruto . Naruto was walking through the village thinking about the fight as well as the look of hatred that the villagers and, surprisingly, some shinobi who worshipped the Uchiha bloodline. Well, they already had that look towards him because of his burden, but such look was filled with hate now, apart from the apathy look from before, when people didn't even consider his existence as one of them. After some pace walking, Naruto's eyes caught a glimpse of sight which long ago managed to get to his heart like no one had done before. They were bright red eyes, which looked like two roses sparkling with beauty. The eyes belonged to none other than the mistress of Konoha, Yohi Kurenai. For a minute there, Naruto just stared at her like he saw an angel in front of him. Such eyes managed to pierce through his soul, and he instantly forgot every piece of negative emotions about Sasuke and Sakura's bickering for a moment. He wished he could look at them forever and just died happily. Meanwhile, Kakashi had arrived alongside him and witnessed that Naruto was checking Kurenai with some intent look on his face. Why are you looking at her, Naruto? Ah, Kakashi-sensei, I didn't notice you there. Well, I was just remembering something from my training with Jiraiya-sensei, that's all. I see. Well, don't look too much at her, Asuma might be jealous. Why would he be jealous of this? Haven't you heard? They are together, yeah, since you left to retrieve Sasuke. Asuma asked her out one time and she agreed to it. Personally, I don't see why she agreed to it, but what can I do anyway? Said Kakashi in order to study Naruto's behavior and run damage control if need be. He knew that Naruto had a thing with the mistress one time, from what he heard from Jiraiya. Oh, okay, then. Well, Kakashi-sensei, I'm heading home, see ya. Said Naruto, trying to hide his emotions, upon seeing that the angel that he saw was with another guy and named Sarutobi Asuma. See you, Naruto, said Kakashi as he stared at Naruto's back for quite some time. He remembered Jiraiya telling him about Naruto's encounter with Kurenai. Kakashi felt pity on the boy. Kurenai was known as the Ice Queen of Konoha for a good reason. At Naruto's apartment . When Naruto arrived at his apartment, he immediately went to the bathroom and took a nice warm shower. As he was letting the hot water clean any battle signs on his body, he was thinking of what Kakashi told him about Kurenai and Asuma. Since no one was looking, he didn't need to hide his emotions anymore and just did what every man in his position did when was cheated. He cried. He sobbed. His angel wasn't his anymore. After the shower, he went straight to bed, thinking about Kurenai's decision to be with another person. On the next day. Naruto woke up and started making breakfast when suddenly he heard a knock on the door. When he opened the door, an ANBU was there with a note for him to attend at Tsunade's office right away. Naruto changed his clothes and quickly put on his vest. In this fic, Naruto became at the age of 14 when he was at Kumo, training. They held a little tournament and Naruto won, being nominated too by Kumo, who sent a letter to Tsunade asking to promote Naruto as a. Tsunade, after receiving the letter from Kumo, and picked Naruto's results at the last exam, and she noticed that Naruto managed to beat Hyuga Neji and prevented Shukaku from destroying Konoha, so she upgraded him to sending a slug summon to find Naruto and give the news with his vest, jumping through rooftops to arrive. At Tsunade's office, Naruto spotted Kakashi there as well and assumed that he was going to a mission with Kakashi-sensei. Naruto, enter. I have a matter of extreme importance that involved your last mission. You see, the council had the same thought as Sakura and they're accusing you of trying to kill the Uchiha bastard. Here is a petition to dismiss you from active shinobi duty from trying to harm a shinobi of the leaf. Figured. Just because the Uchihas were a respected clan, they have these privileges. So, what will be your decision, Tsunade-sama? Asked Naruto, not showing any signs of anger or any negative emotions, much to the dismay and surprise of the blonde, who was expecting a huge scream of anger coming out of Naruto, maybe even hearing some shouts along the way, but none came. In my opinion, Sasuke is considered a Missingnon because of his treason to Konoha. Therefore, if any ANBU or a Konoha Jounin were to encounter him, they would try and kill him on the spot. Since you are a Konoha shinobi, you were acting with all powers to do just that, so you are in nowhere guilty for your actions towards the Uchiha traitor. Leave it to me, Naruto, I'll handle the council. Tsunade-sama, I have a request to ask of you, asked Naruto as he thought about it after getting out of the shower last night. He needed something to take him away from all the pain. First, his fight against Sasuke, then Sakura protecting the Uchiha over him. Lastly, but way more painful, was seeing Kurenai, the love of his life, with another man. He needed to get away and he knew what he had to do. What is it? Asked Tsunade, though she was suspicious of Naruto's body reactions or rather lack of one. If possible, I would like to join as a member of the ANBU. Said Naruto, earning looks from the Hokage and Kakashi. Now, both Kakashi and Tsunade were astonished to say the least. They did not expect this coming from Naruto. The blonde was always the cheerful being with the happy smile on his face, but now what they saw was nothing but a fragment of that being. Once Tsunade asked a reason why he wanted to be a part of ANBU, he simply stated that he needed to get away from all the pain he suffered yesterday and to forget a certain someone. Kakashi had a hint of who that person would be and wasn't surprised to see that his ex-student was suffering. Naruto, is that what you want? So I'll grant your wish. Just give me what mask would you be willing to wear to hide your identity? Black Wolf. Black Wolf. Why black? Except for you, Kakashi-sensei, Irika-sensei, Jiraiya and Tsunade-sama, I'm all alone in this world. The Black Wolf is a sign of my personality. Wolves usually travel in packs, but there is always one of them that travels alone but is feared by most. That's what I want to be from now on, a lone wolf. Tsunade and Kakashi were studying some hint of emotions coming from Naruto and couldn't find any. Suddenly, both of them came to realize that after looking focused to his eyes, they could see the feral grin coming from inside him. Each of them shaked a little at the sight of those eyes. If one were to look deep into his eyes, one could see a mixture with deep blue and a feral yellow color that could show what a nightmare really meant. If Naruto were to use the Kyuubi's power, even Orochimaru would piss in his pants right now. Black Wolf it is, then. Please attend at ANBU headquarters for your clothes and your test. Test? Yeah, they will test you to see what area you'll be directed to. You see, ANBU is divided in 5 areas. Tracking, medical team, assassination, demolition and first response team. As the names of each of them suggests, I'm sure you know which is which. I would assume you would be a part of the first response team since you showed aspects of every kind of mission, but I can't assign ANBU teams, that's their competence. Arigato, Tsunade-sama. Said Naruto as he left through the door, leaving a shocked Tsunade and a surprised Kakashi. Now, Naruto went to a training ground in order to train his other affinity, which appeared after he came back from killing Kakuzu. Suddenly, a brunette Kunoichi was passing by when her eyes noticed a blonde shinobi going away. Instantly, tears started to fall from her face. She was feeling guilty of the fact that she abandoned him because of his age, but right now she was ashamed of what she did to Asuma and Naruto. After Naruto left to retrieve Sasuke, she started having second thoughts of staying with him since he was younger, so she agreed to date Asuma. But after some thought, she figured that the way Naruto was to her, she felt like he was the one for her and not Asuma. Chapter 2 ANBU's test. On the next day, Naruto awoke and went out of his bedroom to a little passageway that showed a great view of Konoha's neighborhood as a soft gust of wind passed through his face and literally blew all his worries of the world, even if it was only for a second. His only duty today was to show up at ANBU headquarters for his test in the afternoon. Once he changed into his ninja clothes and his vest, he went through the streets of Konoha for a little walk. At some point, he ran into Kakashi and they started talking about doing some training and about Naruto's test. "Heyo, Naruto. How are you up this morning? Ready for your test this afternoon?" said Kakashi, smiling towards his student who in just a few hours could be the youngest one of the rookie 9 to enter the ANBU Special Forces, and even though Kakashi had the mask, pride was literally visible on his features as he saw Minato's face in Naruto. "Ah. Kakashi-sensei. I'm sure I was just thinking of heading towards the lake. I recently got a scroll on some and I would like to have a run on them, see how I do. Maybe even use them to impress the ANBU judges," said Naruto held the scroll he was holding and showed it to him. "Very good. I got free time, why don't I come along and help you with your training? If I already saw such, I could see what you're doing wrong and correct them. Also, I would like to talk to you about what it is like to be a member of ANBU. I consider it my legacy to you. I was an ANBU captain after all." "Great, let's go then," said Naruto as he and Kakashi were tagging along towards the lake in order to see what Naruto wanted to learn as well as practice them to use at the ANBU's test. "So, tell me Naruto. How are you feeling today?" asked Kakashi, earning surprised looks from Naruto since he didn't know that Kakashi knew about him and the mistress and wondered if his Sharingan was somehow reading his mind as they talked. "What do you mean, Kakashi-sensei, I feel good? I'm about to become an ANBU, what's not to be feel good about?" said Naruto, almost mumbling the rest of the sentence while looking down at the same time, thinking about the girl who was once his angel here on Earth and now she was with another guy. "I'm actually hurt that you would think less about my ability to understand emotions, Naruto. Tell me it is about the girl from yesterday, right? The one you were looking at. I could very well see your sadness when I told you about a relationship with Sarutobi Asuma. It's okay, you can tell me these things if you want to," asked Kakashi before seeing Naruto's head lift and his eyes were looking directly at Kakashi's, much to his dismay since he knew sadness when he looked at it and such look wasn't different. "Well, I'm sure that Asuma can offer her more than I could, I mean he's her age and all that, how can I compete with someone as experienced as him? Asuma is powerful while I'm a wanting to get into ANBU. Between us, she chose him." After some talking about Naruto's feelings and some of Kakashi's experience back in ANBU, they trained the specifics that were on the scroll Naruto picked up. After an hour, Naruto mastered the 2 on the scroll and just relaxed a little bit near the lake, lost in his thoughts. "I thought she loved me, but I guess that's not good enough for her. She is a strong kunoichi, she needs an even stronger shinobi to protect her." Needing to change the subject, Naruto and Kakashi talked about ANBU and some tough missions that Kakashi had to endure while being an ANBU captain. "You see, Naruto, sometime in your career, you'll face a lot of death situations in front of you and you know what usually happens to you when you experience strong emotions. As an ANBU, you need to keep your emotions at bay. ANBU are the elite, ANBU are power, agility, stealth, and experience. But I guess you do just fine with your stamina, power and arsenal, I believe you'll do just fine. Don't worry about me losing to my emotions, Kakashi-sensei, as you may or may not see, I'm not that stupid kid who was always jumping around and saying inspirational crap all the time. And if you are wondering if I am like this because of Kurenai, you're sadly mistaken. I dropped that mask a few months after leaving with Yurei-sama for training. Just how do you think I was able to beat those Kumo Shinobis in the first place?" Kakashi tried to look deep into his cerulean eyes in order to understand just who was the one talking to him and, by some point he concluded that he was the real Naruto without his invisible mask of 100% happiness. It wasn't for the fact that he lost his stamina because Naruto managed to learn 2 high ranks, Suiten Daibakufu no Jutsu 1 and Suiten Tsuryuiten no Jutsu 2 after extensive training time. He was just beginning to understand that even though hopes are what hold a man to purchase his dream, sometimes such men have to face the fact that only hope won't solve anything, sometimes such men have to come to terms with reality and remove some obstacles in his life. Kakashi couldn't say for sure that Naruto forgot about his dream to become Hokage, but he managed to see in Naruto's eyes that if he wants to become the strongest in the village, he had to take 2 things into consideration. Survive and surpass every ninja in the village. Not many ninjas have had the blessing to get through these 2 things, and those that managed to do that would gain the title of Konoha 3. After some time, Naruto and Kakashi said their goodbyes. Naruto went to the ANBU headquarters while Kakashi was heading for the dango shop to have some lunch. At the dango shop. Once Kakashi entered the restaurant, his one eye caught a little glimpse of a retired kunoichi chatting with a snake mistress known as Mitarashi Anko. Both of them became really close friends together with Yuzuki Yuigao, another member of ANBU Special Forces. Yuigao was a junior ANBU when Kakashi was an ANBU captain. "Aheyo, Kurane-san, Anka-san," said Kakashi as he smiled in a friendly manner, holding his orange book in one hand and greeted the girls with the other, much to the dismay of Anko and Kurenai, since if they could wish for anything was to get rid of the goddamn book, which managed to turn every man into a bloody pervert. "Aheyo," Kakashi said, both of them in unison, but never taking their eyes off the book on Kakashi's hands. "So, Kakashi, what have you done today so far?" "Oh. Not much, I just talked to a blonde friend of mine in the morning and gave him some pointers about Suiton," Kakashi said, leaning over to see any reaction out of Kurenai, with the word blonde being successful and continuing talking. "Anyway, I just came by to grab something to eat and then I'll be on my way." After Kakashi disappeared with his dango order, Kurenai and Anko returned with the talking. "So, Kurenai, does Kakashi know any blonde ninja, because I certainly don't recall any shinobi that had blonde hair. The last one was Yondaime and he passed away like 15 years ago." "Beats me, Ankachan," she lied, since she knew exactly who Kakashi's friend was, and sadness came apparent on her face which didn't go unnoticed by Anko. "Kurenai-chan, what's wrong? Is it about Kakashi's blonde friend? Do you know who this guy Kakashi's talking about?" asked Anko as Kurenai could just nod, showing Anko that she knew who he was and answered only his name and nothing more, leaving. "Uzumaki Naruto," said Kurenai, looking down just as thoughts rushed her head with images of the blonde smiling upon her showing such deep blue eyes as well. "Uzumaki. Oh, I remember now, it's the Burden 4 brat. I came to know that he had an affinity with wind, but also. It's very rare for a shinobi to have two chakra affinities. I didn't know he was that strong, but why are you so down like this, is it because of him? You tell me what he did and he's going to beg you for mercy after what I did to him." Threatened Anko in Kurenai's defense, but little did she know that was quite the opposite. "Yes, I know that he is strong. No, he didn't do anything to me," said Kurenai, much to the dismay of Anko, who once again saw Kurenai's sad face and asked. "Then what happened to make you sad like this? What happened between you two?" asked Anko, now very eager to know, since she didn't know of any involvement between the two of them of any kind, and quite frankly it was pissing her off to no end, since Kurenai wouldn't open her mouth about it. Kurenai just didn't understand at first. She was thinking of the blonde shinobi that was once her blonde shinobi, but she dumped him to go out with Asuma and now she was having second thoughts. Anko looked at her friend with a questionable gaze. What did Kurenai and Naruto have that made her feel that way just by the mention of his name? "Kurenai, just why are you so sad about Uzumaki Naruto? Is it pity from what he carries inside of him?" "No, it's not that at all, Anko." "Ah. Forget about it, I don't want to talk about it." "So, how about you, Anko, interested in someone at the moment?" "Oh, no, my friend, you're not getting out of this so easily, I want to know what happened between you and Naruto to make you feel bad just by hearing his name." "Ankachan, please let's change the subject, okay? I don't want to talk about this. Did he hurt you or anything?" "That seems very unlikely, because I've never seen anyone want to protect others like him, I doubt that very much." "It's quite the opposite, in fact." Kurenai sighed, she didn't want to discuss it, but Anko wasn't easy to fool and she knew that she had to tell her the story. "Okay, Ankachan, I'll tell you, but you have to promise me that you won't tell this to anyone, okay?" Okay, I promise, you're no fun, Kurenai-chan." "The thing is it was I who hurt him in the first place," Kurenai said, learning a surprised stare from his friend 5 as Kurenai was telling her the story. At the ANBU headquarters. Just inside the ANBU headquarters, a blonde approached the reception counter and handed Sanada-sama's permission note in order to be handed out to a certain ANBU that was recruiting shinobis today. "ANBU-san, sir, there is a here, with permission from the Hokage to take the test." "Send him in, I was actually expecting him," said one ANBU member who seemed to be hidden in the shadows so as to show the new recruits what it is like to be an ANBU. "As you wish. Uzumaki-san, come here, will you take a seat over here?" The receptionist asked him to take a seat in front of a certain ANBU character that was wearing the bear mask. "So, Uzumaki Naruto, is it?" "It is. Why do you want to become a part of ANBU?" "To get stronger and to get lost in a way," Naruto answered coldly and objectively, receiving a glare from the bear masked. "Get lost? What the? Care to explain?" "Certainly. I came to know for a fact that ANBU are very strong shinobi, as well as the fact that no one, apart from ANBU and knows of ANBU's life, what outside people just know is that a certain masked person is very strong. So, I want to become strong as well as hide my presence." "I see. Well, here in ANBU we have a training method that seeks efficiency, so if you're willing to join ANBU forces, be prepared to have an exhausted training, few hours of sleep and major trauma-like situations." I can assure you, ANBU-san, I've been through worse and survived, you don't scare me one bit. Confident, aren't you? Well, Sanada-sama spoke highly of you. I can see that you have guts and from what you told me, you've seen death in front of you and surpassed it, that's what ANBU needs to survive. Now, here in ANBU, we ask our troops about what they want to specialize in and based upon their answers, we test them to see at what level they are in order to receive training. So tell me, which element do you have affinity with and what would you like to be learning here? I have right now a strong affinity for chakra and a less strong affinity for type chakra. My taijutsu is low level and my level is average. I can only dispel them, but I can't properly use them. So, what I would like to learn is 3 things. Kinjutsu, Jinjutsu and Raiten. I see, well, you chose some good elemental ninjutsu right there, Uzumaki-san, and the areas you chose to improve are easy to teach, as well as easy to learn, depending on what you show me right now at least. Right now? What, you don't certainly think I would just give your ANBU clothes and the title without a little test, now would you? Please, show us a little more appreciation, we just like to play a little with the new recruits, and if you manage to entertain me, I'll let you pass. But serve as a warning, I'm going full out and I expect you to do the same. One thing I saw in my life is that if I don't fight for real, my neck will be on the line, so do not worry about me holding back, because I'm sure won't hold back. I expect a good fight from you, and after that, I expect to fight some worthy adversaries along the way. Said Naruto with enough confidence to make the now beer-masked ANBU smile behind his mask and show Naruto the way to his test. As they approached a hidden training ground inside the headquarters, Naruto and Bear got ready to fight and engaged in a taijutsu battle. Naruto, since was smaller than his opponent, wouldn't risk charging straight forward against what looks to be a giant wall in front of him. While Naruto and the Bear ANBU were fighting a little taijutsu match, some high-leveled ANBUs were watching the entire thing behind a double-layered glass, along with the godame. After a while, Naruto and the Bear ANBU were fighting only with punches and kicks in order to see Naruto's movements as well as sense of battle. Naruto assumed a position and waited for the ANBU to charge, only to evade the ANBU's punch, quickly using his arm in a way as to move the direction of the punch so as to get past him, protecting the entire body from being hit by ANBU's attacks, sending a fast low kick, making the ANBU almost drop to the ground if it weren't from the man's agility. After that, Naruto came charging with a sequence of low and high punches being defended by the ANBU, while his legs were trying to reach Naruto's, but to no avail since Naruto were protecting those as well, earning some average grades from the Anubis watching the fight. Very good fighting, Uzumaki-san. A couple more experience is needed, but you've got some powerful attacks there, as well as defensive techniques. Now, for the ninjutsu part, let's fight using only, then. Okay, then. Begin, said the ANBU, making some hand seals, screaming Kaiten Gakyaku number 6 as he launched a huge fireball towards Naruto, who channeled chakra through his feet, jumping with great speed, as well as making his own set of hand seals. Futon to Toppa no Jutsu 7. With that, Naruto sent a strong gust of wind towards the ANBU, who forced some chakra through his feet in order to hold his body to the floor as long as he could, in hope to avoid the. Sensing that the wind was strong enough to make him lose his grip, he lost the battle and was sent flying, before gaining balance and landing on his feet. Quickly getting up, the ANBU throws a couple of shurikens while doing hand seals, Cage Shuriken no. As Naruto saw the 2 shurikens multiplicate to 20, he threw 2 as well doing some hand seals and screamed Cage Kunai no, using it as a diversion. While the shurikens were equally matched in number, a lot of weapons could be seen on the ground, but when the ANBU went to look for his opponent, he was long gone, hiding his chakra in order to wait for the right moment. Naruto, no, 5 Narutos rounded the ANBU as he made Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Meanwhile, the bear was cursing behind his mask. Damn it, this cornered me, now there are 5 of them, and either one of them can be used, I have to be careful. Naruto practiced this strategy once with Jiraiya, all he needed to do was make each clone appear to perform a technique at the same time in order to fool the opponent, since he wouldn't know at the time which technique would be coming at him. Not even an Uchiha could manage to escape since he had to focus on each enemy at a time, leaving him no time to know which one would attack. In the meantime, Sanada-sama was having some deja vu, remembering her once teammate Jiraiya did the exact same thing to Aiwa they encountered once. Well, it seems like Naruto learned that from our perverts after all. Tsunade said, much to the dismay of those present around her. Sanada-sama, just what is he doing? Just watch. Naruto is cornering the ANBU with 5 Kage Bunshins. Each Naruto is going to perform in order for the ANBU to get confused. You see, he has to attend to probabilities. Since Naruto has enough chakra for each clone to use, he can either make them release all at once or fool the opponent since he won't know which one is going to attack. That's brilliant, Hikage-sama, you said he learned from Jiraiya-sama. This is very interesting. Back at Naruto's fight, each of the clones were making a difference, scaring the ANBU a lot since he knew he could receive all 5 of them. Suddenly, the 5 clones screamed mostly at the same time. Fuuten Tatapa no Jutsu, Rasengan, Suuten Daibakufu no Jutsu, Fuuten Rasen Shuriken no Jutsu, Suuten Suryuiten no Jutsu, earning a wide-mouthed stare from everyone behind the glass, as well as the bear ANBU. "You can stop now, Uzumaki Naruto, you've passed the test. Congratulations," said the bear ANBU, merely able to hold his composure at the display of Naruto's abilities with high-level jutsus, and the fact that he wasn't even tired yet proved that his stamina and chakra capacity were something to call on. "Thank you, ANBU-san, I'm quite honored to be a part of ANBU forces," said Naruto, politely bowing at his once opponent and now co-worker. "You earned it. Now, as you can see here, your supplies are on top of that table over there. You'll have the standard ANBU uniform and a katana, since every ANBU has one. Now, we have 2 choices of katanas. Since you have chakra affinity, you can choose a katana whose steel was forged in order to channel the wind chakra and make your sword not only sharper, but also much stronger. I'll have the katana." "Very well. So, you can change over there. Go and return for your nomination by the god Imisama as a new member of ANBU forces." "Understood." In nothing but a minute, Naruto appeared back in the room with his ANBU gear all settled, now standing before the bear ANBU, Tsunade-sama, ex-ANBU Black Ops Hada Kakashi and a few other Anubis. "Why, I'm not surprised to see you here, Kakashi-sensei," said Naruto as he managed to take a glimpse of Kakashi reading his book at the corner of his eyes. "Do you really think I wouldn't be here to see one of my students become a part of the elite troop of Konoha? I knew you were going to pass, Naruto, and you sure did. Congratulations." "Thanks, Kakashi-sensei." "Uzumaki Naruto, put on your mask and come forward," Tsunade ordered Naruto. "Hi, Hikage-sama." When Naruto put on his black wolf mask, many ANBU stopped what they were doing and turned to notice their new addition to the group. As he walked towards Tsunade, he turned to acknowledge the surprising stares given by his now fellow co-workers. Surprisingly, a cat-masked ANBU was watching the sudden change at the new ANBU before and after Naruto put his mask on. This ANBU was no other than Yuzuki Uegao, one of the strongest Kenjutsu users in ANBU forces and of course Konoha as a whole, as well as best friends with a certain Reidade Kunoichi, also known as Kurenai. Once Naruto kneeled before the Hokage, Tsunade started to perform the nomination of the newest ANBU in the force, Naruto at the age of 15 years old. "By the power invested in me by Konoha, I nominate you, Uzumaki Naruto, a member of ANBU Special Forces. As from now on, when you attend missions, you shall be called Black Wolf, congratulations." "Thank you, Hikage-sama, it's quite an honor to be nominated for ANBU Special Forces," said Naruto, now with the ANBU Special tattoo already placed on his left arm, between the shoulders and the biceps. Tsunade, even though didn't show, was sad that the once hyperactive unpredictable ninja of Konoha now standing next to her with a serious face and respect towards her, that she immediately came to miss the old blonde shinobi. While looking at Naruto, the only aspect that could resemble Naruto was his golden hair. Almost crying, she thought. Uzumaki Naruto is no more, now he is Black Wolf of Konoha. Now turning to see Kakashi, she wondered. "Kakashi, could you see Naruto inside that black mask?" asked Tsunade, seeing the once hyperactive Naruto hiding behind the Black Wolf mask, wondering about the fact that Naruto never ceased to amaze her with his decisions and conquests in battles. "I'm afraid not, Hikage-sama, the Uzumaki Naruto you know no longer exists." "How can you tell?" asked Tsunade, surprised by what the lazy man said to her about Naruto's true self. "You see, this is the real Uzumaki Naruto, Hikage-sama. The one you met was only a mask he wore, so people could forget what he carries even if it were for a little bit. Do you think Minato did well by doing this to his son? I understand that he did it to save Konoha, but he doomed his son to carry that much of a burden. You know, Kakashi, at some level, I can't seem to decide whether Yondaime chose wisely by putting his son to this never-ending battle. Even though Naruto changed a lot, he still vows to protect the ones he came to love. It was his decision to turn to ANBU, not only because he wants to be strong and well disappear, he did it to prevent anyone from Konoha from suffering because of the burden he was chosen to carry by the Yondaime. Somehow, he took the entire responsibility regarding Kyuubi only to himself. But there is something else. There's more," explained Kakashi. "Konoha's Genjutsu mistress. What does Kurenai have to do with?" That was all Tsunade managed to say until she remembered Jiraiya talking about his relationship with the Reidade Kunoichi. In spite of the burden that he carries, he also suffered deeply when he returned from bringing back Sasuke only to see his beloved dating Sarutobi Asuma. Just how much beating can he take and just be able to sleep at night? I already lost count, Kakashi, just who is he? Kakashi just answered short and painfully. He is Konoha's Black Wolf. Hi. At Naruto's apartment. Once Naruto went to his apartment, Kakashi went to his and Tsunade went to her office, feeling pity on the newly appointed ANBU. I don't think I could even hear his story that I would become insane. I can't imagine what's going through your mind. Now, Naruto, you're so close to us, we're further than before. What happened to you? I actually miss your old foolish self, you little brat. Muttered Tsunade, holding tears from remembering Naruto when he put the ANBU mask on. It was like the old one vanished from sight and a new one appeared, stronger, wise, experienced, determined Black Wolf of Konoha. Back at the Dango shop. Because of the issue they were discussing, it seemed that time was non-existent when Kurenai finished telling her story with Naruto to her friend. I can understand why you were crying, Kurenai-chan. Concluded Anko. Hi, and every time I see him or hear anything about him, my heart literally stops beating, I can't breathe for a while, and my tears are just a consequence of the entire thing. Kurenai-chan, what are your feelings towards the blonde? I'm in love with him, Anki-chan. Kurenai promptly answered, earning a look from Anki-chan which led Anki thinking. How could you do this, Naruto, you of all people managed to melt the Ice Queen of Konoha? More than Asuma? Asked Anko, already knowing that her friend's relationship wasn't going to last very long. Asuma is a nice guy and all, but what I saw inside Naruto's eyes that day was indescribable, Anki-chan. When I look at Asuma, it's not the same thing. So, what are you going to do, then? I can't stay with Asuma, knowing I'm in love with someone else, Anki-chan, I would just fool him, and I don't want that. Even though Kurenai loves Naruto, she couldn't bring herself to actually hurt someone else's feelings like she did with Naruto. So you're breaking up with Asuma. Actually Anko was never too thrilled about her friends choosing on dates. Asuma sure was a nice guy and all but she knew that he wasn't any good for her. Asuma, a chain smoker, was a brute guy and was not used to dating material, at least not to Kurenai's standard, but the way she and Naruto met, Anko just saw the blonde in a new light. I never should have dumped Naruto, Anki-chan, now I have to talk to Asuma in a way that he doesn't get hurt. Just do what your heart and intuition tells you, my friend. If Naruto is what you want, then you shall get him. Thanks Anki-chan. Well, it's getting late and I should wake up early tomorrow to meet with my team, so I'm going to take a quick shower to brush off things. To that, I'll head home as well. I have to be prepared for tomorrow, an ANBU force captured some missing nin this morning, and they are arriving tomorrow. Me and Ibiki will have to interrogate them a little bit, it will be fun. It's been a while since we had a bunch of missing nins to play with. Same old Anko. Well, good luck with the interrogation thing. With that, both shunshined to their own apartments to call the day. Kurenai entered her apartment and emptiness surrounded her once again, she was cursing herself for being so weak. She was biting her lips out of anger, she just wished to punish herself from breaking Naruto's heart like that. He already has so much to suffer in his life, he shouldn't have to suffer because of my rash thinking. As she was getting ready to sleep, images of the blonde shinobi rushed inside her mind and she stopped breathing once again. She thought she deserved to be like this, she considered this to be Naruto's voice calling up to her for what she did to him. But she would as hell do the right thing and obey what her heart has been telling her. It could take some time, but I must do what I must. Naruto-kun, please forgive me. Chapter 3 Kurenai's decision. In her bedroom, Kurenai was having one of the worst nightmares of her life. She was in a forest near the hidden village of Konoha and she saw Uzumaki Naruto standing right next to her, saying something about the Kyuubi and the fact that it's coming their way. But Naruto, how can the Kyuubi come her when it's trapped within you? I don't know, Kurenai, but you don't have to worry about it, run. Leave me here, I'll protect the village from the Kyuubi, since it's my burden to carry, and only I have the power to stop the fox, go, Kurenai. Kurenai, then, lifted her head in extreme fear at the vision of the nine-tailed monster. Kurenai, what are you doing? Get out of here. Hey damn fox, I'm the one you want, if you want to kill someone, then I'm here, come and get me. Once said that, Naruto vanished and started following him, just for her to see a flash, and the two were gone. When she was crying her heart out, she turned to listen to Naruto screaming out of nowhere. Just remember that I'll always love you. Red Rose. Instantly, when the sun appeared through her face, she woke up and screamed his name repeatedly, not realizing that she was having a nightmare. Right there, she knew that she had to do, actually two things. She put on her everyday wear and went out to find the one she needed to give the sad news, the one and only Sarutobi Asuma. Suddenly, she caught a glimpse of the tall man in front of her and called him. Asuma. Asuma. Screamed Kurenai like a mad woman, while thinking how to tell him what she intended to, without hurting his feelings or if so, don't hurt him too much. Kurenai was thinking if Asuma was the same way inside as he was outside. Outside he was a brute force man, the barbarian type, but how he was on the inside is what she was worrying about since the news that she was about to tell him wouldn't be pretty. Kurenai, where's the fire? Said Asuma, actually worried about the redate Kunoichi. Kurenai was very subtle, never taking to express much of herself in public like she was now. There was a reason for her reputation as the Ice Queen of Konoha, and she pretty much gave credit to her reputation. Ever since they began dating, there was always something that drove her away from things, like a wrong choice who wouldn't go away, her conscience tormenting her mind for something that he couldn't understand, but he damn well knew there was something wrong with her, especially today. "Asuma, I need to talk to you." Simple and to the point. Kurenai pondered about how to tell the guy, have a conversation first, and then tell him or spell it out, and hope that he didn't take it bad from being dumped by the redate. She decided to just tell him and see what happened. "Okay. Not here, come," said Kurenai as she hopped through rooftops heading for an empty training ground. Asuma for his part had completely lost any hope of trying to guess what Kurenai wanted to tell him about. Mystery was one of her most noticeable features, and he became somewhat annoyed by such a fact. "So, Kurenai, what do you want to talk about and why do we need to talk in private? Is there something wrong?" asked Asuma in a cool way, while taking a cigarette out and lighting it in his mouth, fulfilling his nasty habit, which by the way was his way of coping with things he saw along the way of his shinobi life. Kakashi read books, Anko and Ibiki torture missing nins for such a thing, bunch of sadists, and Asuma smoked. "Asuma, first I want you to promise that you're not going to hate me or misjudge for what I'm about to say, okay?" said Kurenai, making the bearded smoker now more worried, since with Kurenai, all could be expected. Little did he know that what he was about to hear would make drop his cigarette on the ground. As the couple seemed to be talking with each other, Kakashi was passing by, obviously reading the new book Naruto handed to him called Icha Tactics. He was giggling like a maniac when his eyes caught Asuma and Kurenai talking about something, and from both their looks, things looked pretty serious. Now, back to the couple, Kurenai was now debating inside her head about how to put it. Not wanting to drag the situation any longer, from fear that someone would come and ruin the whole thing or a mission that needed them both, Kurenai had to say it one way or another. "Asuma, I'm in love with someone else. I'm sorry, but I just can't stay in a relationship with other than the one I'm in love with." There she said it. Surprisingly, a 100-pound weight slipped off her shoulders and a light feeling rushed through her chakra coils. It was like she just found the key for total happiness. Kurenai was glamorous. Asuma on the other hand, wasn't nearly feeling the same thing. To say that Asuma was taken aback was an understatement. He was shocked by an upgraded version of the Chidori running through his veins and bones. But right now, Asuma was searching his mind to remember just who has the heart of the Genjutsu mistress, and he at least deserved to know who the guy is. "Kurenai, tell me, who is he? I think I deserve an honest answer here." Asuma was fuming alright, but he wasn't known for dwelling much on emotional situations. The man was indeed a barbarian, and such feelings for him just didn't hang around that much inside him, or at least at the moment it wasn't. "Yes, Asuma, you deserve an honest answer. The one I'm in love with is Uzumaki Naruto." There she said it. At that statement, both Asuma and Kakashi couldn't form words in their mouths to comprehend what Kurenai said. "What? Naruto? But he's only 15 years old. He's only a. She can't be serious as Asuma. She is in love with Naruto. Man, and I thought Icha was good, this is something else." Kakashi. "Kurenai, you're supposed to give me an honest answer here. Naruto is only 15 and a. How can he be the one you're in love with?" babbled Asuma, now angrier from losing Kurenai to a brat with pretty much half their age and probably half their experience as shinobi of the leaf. Little did Asuma know much about how much Naruto suffered in his life because of the nine-tailed demon. "Asuma, I'm sorry but I can't explain why, I just do. I hope you can forgive me for deceiving you all this time, but I just couldn't go through with this, knowing that I'm in love with him. I just can't. Forgive me Asuma, I was actually seeing him before I was with you, and I made a huge mistake, I'm so sorry," said Kurenai, opting to just leave him be for the moment so she could attend to her other objective, that was finding the love of her life again. She figured that Kakashi would know about his whereabouts since Kakashi and Naruto were like brothers to one another, even though the laziness was Naruto's sensei. Upon seeing him near a tree reading a certain book, she usually scowled at him about reading it in front of a female audience. Actually, Tsunade gave every Kunoichi an S-ranked mission that was to destroy all traces of the book's existence around the Fire Country. As she arrived, he raised his head and turned to look at Kurenai. "Kakashi, I want to talk to you about your blonde friend," said Kurenai, remembering about the weird nightmare that she had involving Naruto and the Kyuubi. "What about him, Kurenai?" replied Kakashi, displaying a look of total apathy to the outside world, earning an A+ and showing everyone he just didn't give a damn about anything, but inside Kakashi was interested in what Kurenai wanted to talk to him about Naruto. "I had a dream last night, Kakashi, about Naruto and the Kyuubi." At this, Kakashi took his eyes from the orange book and stared at her. "Tell me about it." Well, I and Naruto were at the Firelands forest and he said that I needed to run and save myself because he was coming. Naruto attracted the attention of the monster out of me, saying that the monster was his but then alone to carry and that no one had to suffer because of it. As I ran from the scene, I turned to see a bright light towards their direction and then I woke up, screaming his name thinking he was dead and took the fox with him. I don't know what that means, Kakashi, what do you think? It seems the kami wanted to show you just what he told me, Kuranasan, said Kakashi, remembering Naruto talking about his burden but also wondering about Kurenai's dream and the fact that she had the dream practically on the same day that Naruto told him about it. What do you mean, Kakashi? Now Kurenai was taken aback by this. She figured that was just a nightmare and here comes Kakashi who knows him better than anyone, tells her that the dream was very similar to what Naruto told Kakashi. Naruto said to me that he couldn't stand to see the ones he loved being taken away just because of the burden he carries. Naruto, by some time, realized that if the Yondaime trusted him to carry the Kyuubi, then it was his alone responsibility to bear. Said Kakashi as he sighed thinking about Naruto's face when he told that to him and the way he was looking at him was frightening to say the least. Naruto didn't look sad, he was feeling nothing, it was like he came to terms with accepting his destiny that the Yondaime put him to. Just how can he say something like that, Kakashi? Doesn't he trust his fellow teammates? Said Kurenai, trying to hold her tears while pushing back memories from the dream which involved Naruto doing the exact same thing in a way. Kurenai, I don't think you realize what's going on here. When he grew up, because he didn't have a single parent to look out for him, no one wanted to take care of him because they were afraid that the demon would kill them. Naruto grew up all alone. When he met Iruka at the academy, Naruto found the first one that cared for him, then he joined Team 7, and then he met Jiraiya and Sanada-sama. How do you think he would feel if he saw someone close to him, someone that took the liberty of knowing himself for who he really was, other than Kyuubi brat? As Kakashi's words were entering into Kurenai's ears, her heart stopped once again and she couldn't breathe once again. She wanted to be there for him, she wanted to hold him once again, and she wanted to just stare at those cerulean eyes. She wanted to be with him and share his burden with her. She didn't want her love to feel like he was feeling right now. Kakashi, please, you are the one that he considers the most, you've got to tell me where he is, I need to find him, please. Pleaded Kurenai, much to Kakashi's surprise, since even though she said that she was in love with Naruto, she wasn't exactly displaying it until now. Kurenai, I'm sorry to say that Naruto's whereabouts is no longer a common knowledge. What do you mean by that? I'm not allowed to talk about it, but seeing that you care so deeply for my student, I'm going to give you a hint, but if you tell anyone I told you that, I'll deny, do you hear me? Loud and clear, come on, Kakashi, I have to talk to him. What once was his mask to hide his true self, now he has replaced it with another mask for war. That's the hint, but Kurenai-san, a little piece of advice, if you are in love with Mai as you said so yourself, don't stop until you find him and tell him just how do you feel about him. Thanks, Kakashi, you're truly a friend to him. Thanks for the hint. Kurenai, in order for you to solve this puzzle, you have to look deep inside your heart and look there, only then you'll figure out where Naruto will be. Said Kakashi, already walking behind Kurenai. Meanwhile at the border with Kumo. Poor ANBUs were dashing with great speed through the forest of Land of Fire in order to get to the border with Kumo. Seeing their masks, they were Hawk, Bear, Cat and Black Wolf. This was Naruto's 15th mission as an ANBU, being certain that the first ones were set to test his loyalty to Konoha. On one mission, he was sent on a trip to a village close to Iwa, alone to recover a missing scroll from the Hokage's vault. It was safe to say that Naruto did meet some force, but there were only rogue ninjas and bandits guarding the stolen scroll. Naruto, in his training, was learning how to control and managed to learn a very powerful cold Raiten Jibashi, no jutsu lightning style. Electromagnetic pulse jutsu. Back at the mission at Kumo, Hawk was the team captain and they've reached the place they were to meet the Jounin Genma and his 3 genins that asked for help to take care of Chunins from Kumo that were trying to invade a village which was located at the Fire Country. Once they arrived, they set camp without setting up some fire so as to avoid suspicion. Hawk, being a strong and capable leader, needed to issue some orders regarding the team's safety while resting for tomorrow. Black Wolf, do some scans on the area with cage buncheons. Said Hawk, since he came to know of Naruto's extensive chakra capacity. Pat, plant some traps around the perimeter. Bear, help me here with our utilities. Hi, everyone in the group called and each went to do their designated assignments. Naruto, now known as Black Wolf, made some cage buncheons and scanned the area, only to find the number of enemies and their positions, and report to the squad captain. Hawk, sir, I spotted 5 Chunins, 2 on the far east side from here, and the other 3 on the left, they are very far from here, though. Good work, Black Wolf. Did you see if they have skills? Only one, Hawkson, has a scar on his left cheek. According to my Cage Bunshin, he felt a large amount of chakra and if he has just average chakra control, we are going to have one hell of a fight. Got it, Black Wolf, go help Bear set the camp. Hi. Said Black Wolf for Hawk to turn and take a good look at his new soldier. Behind Hawk's mask, he was caught wondering about Black Wolf and the fact that he was only 15 years old and already a part of ANBU Special Forces. Nearly everyone in ANBU is at least 20 years old, yet Black Wolf has so far displayed an excellent job. Hawk would not be surprised if Black Wolf would become ANBU captain very soon. On the next day, Hawk and the rest of his team proceeded with their plan to wipe out the Chunin from the village. That meant Black Wolf and Bear would go after the group with the strongest of them, since Black Wolf was also the ANBU with the most chakra capacity and excellent stamina, and the other two went to fight the others. Once they arrived at the location of the Chunins as Black Wolf said they would be, Bear and himself were suppressing their chakra in order to avoid detection and if possible, take out the enemy without having to fight. Bear was greedy, so he wanted to take on the high-level Chunin, leaving Black Wolf to kill the weak one. Once they defined their target, both of them rushed to a place where they could get a clear shot and attack the ninjas, knocking them off. Black Wolf took care of his one, but Bear was discovered by the high-level Chunin, who actually was in a ranked shinobi of Kumo, a dangerous one, and the thing was that he knocked Bear out, leaving Black Wolf to deal with him. So, Konoha ANBU came to play with us. Said the shinobi with a smirk on his face that looked like he was extremely confident about something. Gucci Karaku, ranked shinobi, if you don't leave this premises right now, I'll be forced to impose on you the same fate that your friend there had, only I can't guarantee that I will go easy on you. That guy was a pain in my ass, he always irritated me, I should thank you for taking him out. I see, well so you don't mind if I keep his head, for collection. Said Naruto, apparently holding the guy's head and showing it to the one who, after seeing the head, pretty much confessed that it was actually a friend of the man who supposedly was killed, much to Naruto's grin, knowing that his little plan worked. You bastard, I didn't think Konoha ANBU could be so sick-minded. You just killed my friend there, and for that you'll die by my hands, mark my words for it. Little did he know that he was trapped in one of Naruto's newest ninjutsu techniques, which made the others see things that in reality weren't happening. Gucci was furious at Black Wolf for doing that to his teammate, charging at Black Wolf with blinded rage, only for Black Wolf to start making hand seals for Cage Bunshins and started pounding Tucci with a swift jutsu combo, kicking him hard in the stomach. With great speed, Tucci formed some hand seals and screamed Fuetin to top a no jutsu wind style. Great breakthrough jutsu. In less than a blink, the huge gust of wind came rushing at Black Wolf, leaving him only one way out of it. By channeling chakra through his feet, he jumped away from the force, leaving his enemy wide open for an attack. Naruto threw one shuriken and multiplied forming 10 by making some hand seals and screaming Cage Shuriken no jutsu. All the shurikens hit the target, making him lose some blood. Because of this, the enemy fainted from blood loss, leaving Naruto clear to see how this teammate was doing. Bear, are you okay? Asked Naruto after he helped the big ANBU member get up from the ground. Black Wolf. What happened to that guy? Asked Bear, since he only remembers being taken out by the shinobi by surprise. Bear was berating himself from underestimating the guy's ability, since with one hit, Bear was on the ground, unconscious. I managed to knock him out and I'm going to capture him, he is in a ranked shinobi from Kubo, and presence is guaranteed in Konoha's bingo book. Said Naruto, remembering the time when he was reading the bingo book like Kakashi was reading his Icha. Good, then, while you do this, where is the other one? I'm going to pick him up for questioning. He is next to that house over there, knocked out on the ground. Could you tie him up for us? Hawk and Cat must be here anytime now. Got it. I'll do it. Just as Naruto was tying Tucci, Hawk arrived with Cat with his captures and requested a report. Black Wolf, report. Hi. As we arrived to our location, I managed to take out one of them, but the high Chunin from Kubo discovered Bear's position, knocking him out for a time. As I engaged him, I started pissing him off using it to appear that I was holding his teammate's head and showing to him. So I took him on a Cage Bunshin to Justu and managed to send him flying. He, after that, sent a technique at me, in which I dodged and finished him with Cage Shuriken no Jutsu. Good work, Black Wolf. Mission accomplished. Congratulations, team. Let's take these guys to Abikusen for interrogation. At Tsunade's office. Tsunade was finishing her paperwork when, suddenly, 4 Anubis Sunshine inside the office and screamed loudly for even Shizune to hear outside her office. Mission accomplished, Hikage-sama. You guys don't have to shout, I can hear you. Congratulations, your paycheck will be available once you arrive at the headquarters. Congratulations Tsunade, proud of the fact that this ANBU squad was becoming great with some mission success in a row. Hikage-sama. During our mission, Black Wolf here managed to capture a ranked Kumo ninja named Tucci Karaku. He is already at Abikusen for questioning. said Hawk as he pointed to Black Wolf. Naruto for his part was scowling Hawk since he entered into ANBU just so that he wouldn't be showing his face, and yet here is his captain boosting his image to no one less than the. Is that right? We have quite a bounty with this guy, congratulations, Black Wolf, you are to receive the bounty once Kumo pays his rescue money. It took a while, but Tsunade remembered who Black Wolf is and she was trying to see him, even if it's just a glimpse of the once hyperactive shinobi she was getting used to. Everyone, dismissed, except Black Wolf, I need to talk to you. Hi, Hikage-sama. Hold on a minute, Black Wolf. Shizune, are you there? Please come here. You asked, Tsunade-sama. Yes, prepare a message for Kumo, tell them that we captured this shinobi here trying to harm one of the Land of Fire's villages. Hi, Hikage-sama said Shizune, looking directly at the black-masked ANBU with slight fear. He was tall, blonde hair, and he was expelling some dangerous aura around him, almost like saying do not mess with me kind of thing. His eyes were feral yellow, and his mask was scary as hell. You shall not fear him, Shizune, you happen to know him for quite some time now. Said Tsunade, trying to resist the urge to chuckle at her apprentice's reactions towards the new improved Uzumaki Naruto. Hi, Hikage-sama, it's just that his mask is scary, that's all. Said Shizune, earning a grin from Tsunade. Come on, Shizune, you know him as well as I do. Is it? Yes, he is. Sorry, I'll excuse myself, Hikage-sama, ANBU-san. Said Shizune with some thought. Is that Naruto? I can't believe it. So, Black Wolf, congratulations on capturing the nin, or shall I say Uzumaki Naruto, said Tsunade, trying to catch an emotional reaction on the boy by revealing his name just so that she could see a single reaction out of him, but to no avail. Tsunade-sama, if you're trying to make me look uncomfortable by sharing my identity, with all due respect, that won't, is there anything you want from me, Hikage-sama? No, you're dismissed. Said Tsunade, frustrated from trying to see just a little glimpse of emotion coming out of the blonde ANBU. At Kurenai's apartment. Back at Kurenai's apartment, she was thinking about Kakashi's hint, actually she couldn't stop thinking through her entire mission together with her students, Inyazuka Kiba, Aburam Shino and Hyuga Hinata. Only half an hour before it, she was at Tsunade's office, being dismissed. By the time her team were leaving the administration building, they heard an ANBU squad returning from some mission and screaming something about mission accomplished and a certain Black Wolf that managed to capture an ranked Kumanin. She was puzzled. But she was apprehensive as hell. She still hadn't seen Naruto yet, but she was determined to find her true love, at all costs. She was caught wondering about Kakashi's hint that said what once was his mask to hide his true self, now he has been replaced with another mask for war. Kurenai also remembered Kakashi saying that she had to look through her heart to find out. It was a little over 10 p.m. And she was lying down on her bed, but she couldn't get any answers. Damn Kakashi and his underneath. After some time 4 a.m. she couldn't sleep. She was awake all night, thinking about how good Naruto's chest was when she used it as a pillow to rest and forget all her troubles. She missed him so much, but she was determined to find him, so she started bumping his head for her brain to just give the answer. Suddenly, she remembered when she first saw his eyes and remembered that this wasn't the loudmouth hyperactive ninja she once came to know. What once was his mask to hide his true self. Naruto took off that mask and replaced it with a mask for war. It was at this moment that Kurenai was out of breath, she couldn't believe that she was so stupid, it was the perfect hint. Naruto took off his mask to hide his true self and replaced it with an ANBU mask, Naruto became an ANBU. To say that Kurenai was happy, it was an understatement, she was jumping all over her bed, knowing that she was one step closer to finding her true love. She was wondering. Of course, he is ANBU, otherwise I would have seen him somehow. Kurenai was lucky, she knew that Tsunade would know where Naruto was, cause she is the one directly above the ANBU forces and she has her friend Yuga working there as well. When the sun struck her room, she felt a little bit tired, but now she couldn't sleep. Suddenly, a knock on the door, when Kurenai opened it, she saw Hinata. Good morning, Hinata. Good morning, Kurenai-sensei. Tsunade-sama called us to get to her office. Okay, then, I'm going to change and I'll be right there. Hi. At Tsunade's office. Once at Tsunade's office, teammate entered to see a sleeping Hokage drooling all over some mission scrolls, so Kiba asked his dog Akamaru to wake her up in a light manner. When the huge dog approached Tsunade, he licked her from chin to her forehead, waking the grumpy Tsunade. Inyazuka Kiba, if your dog is any way near my face again, he'll be sent to the dog pound, understood? Hi, Hikage-sama. Replied a frightened Chunin. Teammate presenting ourselves for mission, Hikage-sama. Said. Okay, teammate, oh, yes, I have a branch mission at Kumo's border. What are the details? It will be a 3-week mission to study and gather information on Kumo's interest in villages near their border. My last ANBU team captured 4 Kumo Chunin, trying to take over one village right next to the border. The Fire Daimyo requested a report on their intentions. teammate is to leave by noon tomorrow, dismissed. Hi, Hikage-sama. After that, teammate left except Kurenai who wanted to talk to Tsunade in order to get some information regarding Naruto's whereabouts. Yes, Kurenai, what do you wish to talk about? Hikage-sama, I was wondering if you've seen Naruto around. Asked Kurenai, which came as a surprise for Tsunade and she didn't make any effort in hiding anything. Why the sudden interest? Asked Tsunade, already knowing about their affair from Jiraiya, but wanted to see where this was going. It's just that I haven't seen him around anymore, that's all. Lied Kurenai. Are you sure? What do you mean, Hikage-sama? It's nothing, really, forget about it, said Tsunade, hearing what she needed to know. I'm sorry, Kurenai-san, but I cannot tell you about Naruto. Why is that? He is no longer a regular ninja of Konoha. You have to promise me you won't spread this information, okay? If I learn that you told this to anyone, I'll have you expelled from the ninja order, do I make myself clear? Yes, Hikage-sama. Well, you see, he is part of ANBU now. ANBU? He is only 15. Asked Kurenai, trying to deceive Tsunade so that she wouldn't know of Kurenai and Naruto's relationship and the fact that she wanted him back to her by all means possible. She loved him and deep down inside she knew he loved her. He came to me and requested a position at ANBU, he took a test and was approved. By now, he has completed 15 high-level missions with his squad. Personnel are taking a liking to him. Surprisingly enough, he is very professional. His squad is one of the top squads in ANBU Special Forces. Really? I didn't know he would handle it. Being ANBU is tough. Kurenai, quit playing games with me in order to find out more about your beloved blonde. I cannot reveal any more information, cause it's considered classified. Said Tsunade, being fed up with playing a game of questions and answers from Kurenai. So, you knew, didn't you? Mumbled Kurenai, looking down to the ground in shame since thoughts of what she did to Naruto appeared again in her mind and sadness could be felt. Yeah. You want to be with him, don't you, Kurenai? Very much, Hikage-sama, I think I'm in love with him. Said Kurenai, earning a witty look from Tsunade who right now was screaming inside her head. What? How? How? Wow, Naruto, you managed to melt the heart of the Ice Queen of Konoha. Tsunade couldn't form words as she was paralyzed. Hikage-sama, are you okay? Asked Kurenai, somewhat afraid to know about Tsunade's opinion on the matter since there was like a mother figure to Naruto. Oh, I'm fine, Kurenai-san, do not worry about him, you'll find him eventually. Now, I believe your team has a mission to complete. Hi, thank you, Hikage-sama. Said Kurenai as she bowed and left the room, leaving a wondering Tsunade. My god, Naruto, you're full of surprises, aren't you? You just can't get enough of changing people for the good, I mean. Chapter 4 Lone Wolf. After talking to Tsunade, Kurenai went back to her apartment so she could rest for the day since it was already nighttime. Suddenly, a swirl of leaves could be heard from her living room, appearing no less than the snake Mistress Mitarashi Anko. She was there in hopes of talking to her friend about the blonde fellow that suddenly grew her interest sky high. Anko was still dazed by the fact the one known as Ice Queen of Konoha was falling in love with a supposedly young but also good-looking Chunin. Once Kurenai sensed the familiar chakra signature, she went to the living room only to see her best friend with a little bag on her shoulders. Greetings, Anko-chan, what are you doing here? Greeted the redayed beauty like it was an everyday occurrence that her snake friend appeared in her living room when she wanted to talk or just hang out with Kurenai. Anko happened to have only 2 friends in Konoha who didn't treat her like a snake bitch. Oh, Kurenai-chan, I'm touched that you did not welcome me to your home, I just thought of keeping you some company and get to talk about the blonde for a bit. That story of yours really got to me, you know. I'd never think someone like him would get to you that much. Said Anko, only for Kurenai to look down to the floor, feeling sad of hearing what her friend said. What about him? What not about him? 2 chakra affinities, Chunin at the age of 15, handsome, have beautiful blue eyes as you said. Of course, if what you said back there is true, then he is one hell of a guy. Mumbled Anko that last part, mostly to herself from imagining Naruto and Kurenai together in a provocative way. Yes, he is indeed quite a guy, Anko-chan. I wouldn't be feeling the way I do towards him if he wasn't. Add to the fact that I came to know yet another feat that he was able to do. Instead of just a Chunin at the age of 15, he recently entered the ANBU and he is now a member of the ANBU Special Forces. What? An ANBU at the age of 15. I didn't figure he was a prodigy hidden under the hideous orange jumpsuit of his. But wait, how do you know he entered the ANBU program? I work close with him at the torture and interrogation division and not once had I seen him there or any blonde character for that matter. Did Yu-Gachin tell you that? Asked Anko, to which Kurenai nodded her head in the negative. No. Sanada-sama told me. She even told me that he's doing quite well there, having already completed 15 A-ranked missions and a couple of S-ranked ones, not counting some B and C-ranked missions, that I think he already completed a number close to 30 B and 40 C ranked. Well, considering his A and S ranked missions, it only seems accurate to say that he has completed quite a lot of middle risk level missions, but Kurenai, he is too young to witness the hard life from being a part of ANBU, trust me, I've been there. Said Anko, showing some concern on the boy's mental stability, clearly not considering just who Naruto is in the first place and the fact that he faced worse than being an ANBU since the day he was born. Ankichan, if even the no Yoko doesn't scare him, what makes you think that any other event would scare him at all? Besides, I'm quite certain that he might be with Yugao as partners and she is one hell of a kunoichi. She might be there making sure he was alright. I don't know Kurenai-chan, it wouldn't seem like that if Naruto is what the rumors have led to believe. I'm sure that Yugao is strong for sure, but Naruto surely wouldn't need any help from her, more likely, he would end up helping her get out of tough situations. Because of the monster inside him, Naruto knows no chakra exhaustion, no needing to be at the hospital for more than a day. Yugachan is one of the best ANBU there is in headquarters, but she cannot hold as long as Naruto in a fight. From what Kakashi said, Naruto has nearly everlasting stamina. Explained Anko, to which Kurenai frowned. Yugao was her idol. She is part of ANBU Special Forces for quite some time and still has time for dating the specialist Jeku Hate. It would be impossible for Kurenai to compare Yugao's fighting ability with just anyone, but she was thinking about her beloved blonde and how would ANBU training make him stronger than he already is. After some extended talk with both of them, they made a little bed for Anko to sleep and continued talking some more until Kurenai at some point couldn't take him off her mind. Every word Anko said, Kurenai would associate with him, which made her friend a little angry but seemed to get past it since she knew how much she was suffering from not getting together with Naruto or even finding him in that manner. On the next day, teammate consisting of Kurenai, Kiba, Hinata and Shino went on their mission towards Kumo. Along the way, Hinata noticed that her sensei was appearing very sad about something. She never saw her sensei's emotions other than a quick smile as a sign of congratulating her students. Seeing that, she decided to talk to her and see what was wrong with her sensei. Kurenai-sensei, is there something wrong? Asked Hinata, deciding on the direct approach strategy so as to get to the point and see if she could do anything to help her sensei. For some time, Hinata lost that shyness around people and after the Chunin exams when she was promoted, she was able to show everyone that once Hyuga Hinata was gone, she would be stronger. What do you mean, Hinata? Kurenai for her part was trying not to show depression or any emotions rather than the normal smile and on occasions praising her students' abilities to a certain degree, but upon hearing Hinata's out of the blue question, she was cursing herself from doing the exact opposite of what she intended. It's nothing. I just turned to look at you and you were looking down for some reason and I wanted to know if you were fine. Oh, sorry. Sensei, you can tell me, why are you sad? I'm just sad because I'll be leaving the village for quite some time and my search would have to be interrupted. Search? Search for what? Oh, it's nothing, Hinata, he will be here when I return, right? Kurenai faked a smile and also smacked her forehead for mentioning the he in the sentence, making an open statement that Kurenai was dating someone. He? You never told me you had a boyfriend in Konoha, Kurenai-sensei. Oh, he isn't my. Kurenai couldn't finish the sentence, sure she wanted more than anything for Naruto to be her boyfriend, but she was considering his feelings since she didn't consider it before when going out with Asuma. Hinata saw for the first time those sad ruby eyes and pity on her. She was suffering because she was having feelings towards this guy and then she had to leave him and go to their mission. So she dropped their talk and started studying their surroundings as well as grasped the mission details with her sensei. At night on Konoha's border. It was already nighttime in the middle of the Land of Fire's dense forest and a certain black wolf mask ANBU could be seen patrolling the area. A few days back, he volunteered for some border patrol at night, at least 3 days a week. Deciding to wait a little bit, he sat on a fallen log. So far, his new choice of lifestyle has taken him to higher levels of experience as well as fighting. So far, he learned quite a few from accessing ANBU's library and studying some scrolls from Kumo that he got with an ANBU X Kumo ninja. Needless to say, Naruto also learned summoned since Kumo relies on both these elements. Right now, Naruto was working on Genjutsu mid-level ones and how to dispel high-level ones. He learned some very good ones and one used by the Nidaime at the Sandaime called Kakuanjo no Jutsu Journey into Black Darkness technique. Black Wolf was looking at the peaceful environment around him when he gazed at the moon and noticed it was a full moon today. Suddenly, a noise could be heard not too far away and Naruto could feel his chakra signature, wondering if it didn't belong to anyone he knew. Because of his now trained sight, he started looking in the direction that the 4 footsteps could be heard, almost the same type. Naruto just stood there waiting for the supposed enemy to come. Inside Black Wolf's mask, the feral grin was noticeable and Naruto was ready for what was coming. During his time in ANBU, his fellow comrades came to fear him when he showed such eyes. It was like bright yellow that could glow in the night. But what Naruto encountered wasn't any shinobi or kunoichi, in fact the only thing he could see was those same eyes as his own, golden yellow eyes exchanging looks with his own. It appeared that the creature was studying Naruto's intentions, since the eyes stopped moving. After some time staring at each other, the creature walked some more, letting the moonlight show what it looked like. Naruto was astonished for the first time since he joined ANBU forces. The creature was a big black wolf with scars all over his paws, showing signs of fierce battle and survival, and it was studying Naruto's reactions. Black wolf facing black wolf. And then the wolf started talking to Black Wolf ANBU. I can see in your eyes, human, that you are very similar to my own. And why is that? Asked Naruto, now getting ready to defend himself if needed be against the wolf in front of him. Your eyes show the same thing as mine, feral determination. But what almost scares me is the fact that you seem strong, but you travel alone most of the time. I'm just like you, in a way. In fact, I believe that we share a lot of similarities. The path I chose to follow, it's different from what you think. A wolf always travels in packs, as kind of attacking in groups or having at least someone to protect you. I chose to be a lone wolf, a being that's not afraid of fighting alone or cornered against the wall by being outnumbered. I see, very interesting. Your ideals are similar to my own. But to think that you aren't the only lone wolf in this area. Can you see anyone here that resembles myself, human? No, I cannot see and I cannot sense any presence other than us. So, you see I'm a lone wolf, too. I was expelled from the wolf clan a few months ago, and since then, I travel alone, fight alone and win alone. Now that you say, I do resemble you, do you have a name, wolf? The name is Ace. Ace, mine is Black Wolf ANBU Uzumaki Naruto. At first, when I saw you from quite a distance, somehow, I could feel your feral aura, it was like it was calling me somehow. You're quite a human, Naruto-san, it's been a while since I met someone like you, how old are you? Does it matter? No, not much, I am 200 years old, and I'm still young enough to put fear in those who come near, just by showing my feral grin. Well, since you told your age, it would be rude of me not to tell my age, wouldn't it? I'm afraid so. Okay, I'll turn 16 next week. Still too young, I see. It wouldn't be wise of you to underestimate your enemy just because of his age, you know. You show quite potential, Naruto-san. Tell you what, if you beat me in a fight, you can sign my contract and summon me anytime you're in danger. Isn't the wolf's contract? How can you have a contract of your own? When I was expelled from my clan, I made my own and kept looking for a shinobi to sign this. Okay, so if I beat you in a fight, I can sign your contract 1. Right. Let's go, then. Both black wolves assumed fighting positions and came charging towards each other, basically onto jutsu. After no one could land a hit, Ace used chakra and threw a little hurricane towards Naruto. Ace, quite a technique, you got that. I don't like to brag that much, but it is. Okay, see if mine is as good as yours, then. Fuiten to Toppa no Jutsu Wind style. Great breakthrough jutsu. With that, Naruto threw a huge gust of wind at Ace, who got out of the day of the wind just in time, since it was quickly approaching, and Ace wouldn't be able to just stop the wind from coming at him. Then, Ace did something with his claws that Naruto recognized right away, since he took his katana and did the same thing, by channeling wind chakra. Both attacks consisted of creating a razor wind capable of cutting anything, quite similar to Fuiten K's no Yaiba wind style. Wind sword jutsu technique, but with an actual sword. I can see you're strong, Naruto-san, this battle does not need to go further. But I didn't hit you yet. Look closer at my left paw, your technique beat mine and made this cut here. Here is my contract, signed with blood. Okay, so Ace, do you have a home to come back to, cause if you want, you can stay with me back in Konoha. I've been in these woods for far too long, Naruto, I think I'll accept your offer. Okay, then, let's head back, I just have to file a report to our Godame Hokage, and then we can head home. Godame? She is our leader, back in Konoha. I thought that the Sandaime was back in charge, what happened? It's a long story, I'll tell you along the way, so, just how fast are you, assassin? Ace showed his first smile in decades and vanished towards Konoha, for Naruto's amusement. That fast, huh, okay, let's go. With that, both black wolves vanished, arriving in Konoha and jumping through rooftops towards the administration building. At Tsunade's office. Tsunade was finishing some paperwork and was very bored to say the least. Since Naruto entered the ANBU, not once did he burst into the door and called her Tsunade Abachan, she missed it a lot. Right now, she was looking at the empty Konoha since it was nightfall and those who weren't on missions were sleeping right now. She, suddenly, sensed someone coming fast, but she sensed Naruto's chakra as well. In an instant, Naruto and Ace appeared on top of the building next to the administration building and the sunshine inside her office. Tsunade-sama, reporting back from a border patrol mission. Ah, Black Wolf, okay. But tell me, who is your friend over there? He is my summon, Tsunade-sama, he is called Ace. At the mention of his name, he came forward and greeted Tsunade. Like greetings, Tsunade-sama, I once met your grandfather, the Shodaime, and I'm honored to meet you. Black Wolf, you can summon wolves, now. No, just him, the contract that I signed only summons Ace. I see. Tsunade-sama, do you need anything else? No. Tsunade didn't finish the sentence, and both had already sunshined her office. They both have that look that scares the shit out of me. At Naruto's home. Naruto and Ace arrived at Naruto's apartment and Naruto fixed a sofa for his new summon to sleep, along with something to eat. Then Naruto took off his uniform and decided to look at himself in the mirror. Long gone was his smile and joy in his face, long gone was the Naruto who resorted to saying he would change Konoha once being Hokage, this Naruto was different. After that, he went to sleep for at least a couple of hours, since he had to report at 7 at ANBU headquarters. At ANBU headquarters. Once he arrived at ANBU headquarters, Naruto did his routine at the training ground. Right now, he is focusing on, since he already mastered Raiden and Jinjutsu. After that, since he didn't have any missions in the morning, he summoned Ace. What do you need, Naruto? Well, I was thinking we can practice some moves as a kind of teamwork fight. I see, well, since we both have wind affinity, there are a couple of moves I can teach you to do with me, that wolves did together. Okay. First one, did you remember the attack you hit me with? After getting a nod from Naruto, well, we can surround the enemy, rotate and start throwing razor wind attacks from all directions. Meanwhile, it looked like there was another ANBU watching him train. Hawk, Bear and Cat were staring at him with a Black Wolf, training some joint attacks with a wooden dummy. There he goes again, always training and doing missions, he doesn't rest. Started Bear talking to Hawk. He's pushing himself further, only to get better results on missions. I heard from Kakashi-senpai that Black Wolf trains a lot, only to be able to protect his comrades. Answered Hawk. He knew Kakashi-senpai? Cat asked. Kakashi-senpai was his instructor for quite some time, and even he was surprised when Black Wolf beat Bear here in combat. After a while, there was a sound inside the ANBU headquarters, reaching for Black Wolf and Hawk to go to Tsunade's office right away. At Tsunade's office. As Tsunade was looking through some documents, she was waiting patiently for two ANBU seeing as she sent a letter to the ANBU chief a while ago. She was about to smash her fist in annoyance. Hawk and Black Wolf presenting, Godime-sama, what do you need? It's an A-ranked mission. My sources told me that 4 Iwa missing nins were attacking a village near Konoha. Reach the village and capture the enemy and Hawk, I want them alive, I want to deliver them to Iwa. Hi, Godime-sama. Black Wolf, meet me at the West Gate in half an hour. Hi. It would be your 25th ranked mission, isn't it, Black Wolf? Hi. West Gate. Once they met at West Gate, the travel began. Black Wolf, since you are the one with affinity, you will take the lead, my fire techniques won't do much to these missingans. How about some joint attacks, then? What do you mean? When a certain rock is heated, a blast of water is what it takes to break it. What do you propose, then? If any of them happens to know some good defense, we will attack together and penetrate easily. Okay, then, enough talk, let's go faster. Hi. When they arrived at the village, there was destruction everywhere, just piles of giant boulders near some buildings. Just when Hawk gave up the mission, saying it was too late, both ANBU encountered Iwa coming at their directions. Hawk and Black Wolf each break to different directions, managing to divide the group of Iwa missingans. So, Konoha came to have some fun, right? Surrender or we will have to use force. Okay, I'm really scared, you know, you don't scare anyone. In the intercom that ANBU just recently acquired, Black Wolf communicated with Hawk. Hawk, close your eyes, when I say, I'll use it to blind them all. Okay, then. Now said Naruto making fast hand seals and screaming Kakuanjo no Jutsu journey into black darkness technique. After Naruto's technique, everything the Iwa nins could see was dark and was sitting targets for the ANBU to attack. So, Black Wolf tackled 2 of them with a Futon-infused katana, knocking both of them, and Hawk did some hand signs, screaming Kaitenhausenka no Jutsu, hitting some fireballs at the rest of the Iwa nins, burning their stomach and knocking them out. Nice work, Black Wolf. Thanks. Okay, make a Kage Bunshin and let's carry them to Ibikasen. Hi. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. At Tsunade's office. After 4 hours of mission, 2 Hawks and 2 Black Wolves appeared carrying the Iwa missingans. Mission accomplished, Hikaju-sama screamed Hawk, to which Tsunade was actually holding herself from punching the ANBU right there. Good work, take them to Ibiki. Hi. With that, both vanished, leaving Tsunade alone to think. Those two are quite a team. I was thinking of assembling a team of elite Anubis for S-ranked missions. Tsunade noticed that there was one paper on her table and she turned to look at it. It was this mission's report. The report said that Black Wolf aka Uzumaki Naruto made an A-rank genjutsu to blind the opponents and they were sitting ducks. I didn't know Naruto's chakra control was good enough to perform such a technique. Shizune, get me Black Wolf's history file, I wanna see how he's doing. Hi, Sanada-sama, here it is. Okay, let me see how that is doing. Name? Uzumaki Naruto. Age? 16. Codename? Black Wolf. Chakra affinities? Fuetin and Suitin. Missions? Tens 25A 40B 80C 100D. Training. Mastered Raten Jutsus, Jounin level chakra control, Genjutsu abilities average and right now, training Kenjutsu arts. Summon. Wolf named Ace. Mental stability. Stable. Rank. Chunin elite ANBU official mid-level Jounin unofficial. Tsunade was surprised to see that ANBU considered Naruto according to his skills. She still remembered the day they learned the Rasengan and just how much he grew since he arrived from Jiraiya's training. Now come to think about it, Tsunade was wondering about Naruto's new face. Some time had already passed and she had never seen his face anymore, only his eyes and the Black Wolf mask. While Tsunade was thinking, a shinobi entered kicking through her door with a request for backup. It seemed the teammate was being captured because of the information they acquired. Damn it, Kurenai, just how the hell did your team manage to get caught? You have 3 Chunins that could sense the enemy a mile away. Shizune, get Black Wolf and Cat here, right away. Hi. In less than a minute, both ANBUs appeared for Tsunade to give their mission. Since there are Konoha shinobi on the line here, I'll make this an S-ranked mission. You see, teammate was captured by Kumo, just past the border between them and the Fire Country, you guys are to retrieve them immediately. Tsunade managed to look at Naruto's eyes and caught the first glimpse of emotion. Since he joined ANBU, he knew who was in teammate as well as Cat, but she was completely angry because they kidnapped her friend. Black Wolf will be team captain. Dismissed. Hi. Since there was a rescue mission, ANBU were trained to gather chakra through their feet to get there faster, but without wasting enough chakra in case there was a battle to face. After some distance, Cat caught a glimpse of Black Wolf and sensed what many on ANBU had come to fear, his feral grin and his yellow eyes. Suddenly, Naruto took some blood and put his hands on a tree, screaming Kuchius no Jutsu, appearing to aid. Black WOLF2, what do you need? It's a rescue mission. I and Cat are the only ones that were sent, but I can sense there is at least 6 ninjas there, so we'll need your help. Just how do you know that there are 6 ninjas? Cat was perplexed. Black Wolf's right, I can smell 6 presences, other than Konoha's ninjas. Ace concluded. Teammate happens to have 3 old friends of mine, and I can assure you any of them could sense any enemy approaching, so it means that they were surrounded and surrendered. Said emotionless Naruto. Yeah, I also got a friend there as well. She must be her name is. Kurenai said Naruto, showing some major killer INT-3, which didn't go unnoticed by Cat. He knows Kurenai, but he wasn't on her team of genins. What happened with Black Wolf and Kurenai? Those thoughts came to her as soon as seeing Naruto getting angry upon hearing her name. After a while, they arrived at the place, and they saw a house which appeared to show 4 ninjas seated and 2 guards standing inside. Okay, here is the plan. I'm sure, Ace, that you already know where the enemies are, so go with Cat. There are 4 enemies outside the house and 2 inside. We have to take the 4 first, so Cat and Ace, you take the ones on the left there, and I'll take the ones on the right. Permission to kill. But use Kenjutsu and stealth assassination, same for you Ace. Well, not for him like humans do. His claws had to do the trick. Got it? The ones outside were disposed of immediately by Black Wolf and Cat stealth assassination and Ace's quick claws. After that, they gathered just outside the house and suppressed their chakra. Okay, good job, both of you, now the remaining 2 inside, I'll cast it inside, leaving Cat and me time enough to dispose of the last ones. Ace, thanks for your help, now go rest a bit, after this, I'll go home. Okay, good luck. Pat, you're ready. Ready when you are. Inside the house. Teammate was pissed. They were captured by shinobis and they didn't know what to do. Shino sent the call to Konoha for backup, but in order to get where they were, there would be some time. Meanwhile, Kumo could torture them or worse. Little did they know of Naruto's plan just outside the house when a sudden darkness surrounded them all. Ninjutsu, just who the hell did this? Wondered Kurenai, considering that such technique was pretty damn hard to do. Suddenly, everyone could hear swords being taken out and an attack was heard. Then 2 bodies fall hard to the ground. When it was dispelled by the one who cast it, teammate suddenly saw two ANBU standing in front of them with the ninjas on the ground dead. Teammate, we were sent here by Hikage-sama to rescue you, said Black Wolf. Finally, I thought you guys would take a while to get here, growled Kiba when, suddenly, everyone in the room caught a glimpse of Black Wolf's yellow eyes and trembled in fear. Even Kat, who unleashed the ropes and the chakra suppression devices, was sweating since she knew of her partner's history at ANBU. Forgive us for my teammate's behavior, Anbu-san, he is just temperamental, Kurenai apologized. Forget about it, let's go, Sanada-sama is worried about you all. Said Black Wolf. Kurenai was still looking at the black-masked Anbu. She was positive that she heard that voice before, but the eyes sure brought her memories of her beloved blonde. Once they left the house, Shino came to Black Wolf and started talking. You can fool anyone with that mask, but me you cannot. Good for you, Aburam. But tell me, just how did the Kumo Shinobis manage to fool you, then? They used my teammates against me, said Shino, ashamed of the fact that Anbu was right. I see. You've changed a lot since I last saw you, Wolf. No, Shino, you must be confusing me with one annoying blonde brat who only got in the way of things. Shino was taken aback by Anbu's harsh comment. From quite a distance, Kurenai and Hinata were watching their talk. So, Kurenai-sensei, this Anbu fellow is quite a guy, is he the one you were sad about? How can you tell, Hinata? By the look you gave him back at the house. I can't say for sure, but I sensed a somewhat familiar presence on him. Kurenai said, and Hinata laughed. What's so funny, Hinata? It's nothing. I just never thought that my sensei could fall in love with someone the same age as my own. Said Hinata, leaving towards Kiba and leaving Kurenai's surprised look. After a while, teammate and the Ambus were returning from their mission when Kurenai decided to talk to Kat. How are you, Kurenai-chan, feeling better? Hi. Kat, who is he, said Kurenai pointing to Black Wolf. Oh, he is Konoha's Black Wolf Anbu, the one who saved you guys. I'm sure you sensed the use back there, right? After a nod, Yugao continued. Well, he casted it, said Yugao, checking on Black Wolf's back since he was leading the squadron. Answer me, who is he? I don't know myself, he is the only Anbu who doesn't take his mask off even inside Anbu headquarters. I've never seen his face, but I've seen his eyes and I can tell you he is strong. But I was wondering about something. What is it? When we were coming, he told me about his friendship with your team, and when I said your name, his killer intent was all around the place. Care to explain? Don't have a clue, my team knows a lot of people, and he could be anyone. Kurenai was caught remembering Hinata's words and then looked at Black Wolf's hair. Kurenai, during the whole trip, was thinking about the mysterious Black Wolf Anbu and the fact that his presence made her tremble inside since she sensed the same thing a while ago. After some hours traveling, teammate went home and Kurenai followed the Ambus to Tsunade's office. At Tsunade's office. Tsunade was looking at the window when the Ambus and Kurenai sunshine inside. How did you go? Mission accomplished, Sanada-sama. We disposed of the enemies and recovered every member of teammate, reported Black Wolf. Congratulations, both of US ranked, mission accomplished. Kurenai, how about your mission? Here is the report, Sanada-sama. Thanks. Now, care to explain how a team of trackers were captured? Hi, Sanada-sama. The Kumo ninjas surrounded us and captured Kiba's Akamaru, so Kiba was captured, rendering everyone. I see, be careful, Kurenai. Your team should thank Kat and Black Wolf for saving your asses. They are some of Anbu's elite. Hi, arigato, Kat and Black Wolf for saving us. It's our job, Black Wolf said and vanished. Kurenai was speechless, she somehow knew that he was Naruto, but such coldness just didn't belong to him at all. So, Kurenai was sad again. She thought her search ended and that she had found her blonde lover. Tsunade was also taken aback by Black Wolf's emotionless remark and turned to look at Kurenai with some sort of pity. She reached Kurenai and told her about Black Wolf's history, hoping to give some pointers for Kurenai, indicating that Black Wolf was indeed Naruto. Don't be that way, Kurenai, Black Wolf was just as sad as you. How, such coldness in his way of words, it's like he doesn't have blood in his veins. He lost someone very dear to his heart a while ago, and he vowed to go mission after mission and training after training in order to not let this feeling take over him. But you know, I don't think he forgot, I believe that his feelings just rose and he was cold. Listen, Kurenai, do you want to talk to him? Yeah, I do, I want to thank him for saving me, but the bastard just shunshined out of here. Okay, then, this may be a secret, but tomorrow night he will guard the west gate border, so you can meet him there. Thank you, Tsunade-sama. Dismissed, both of you. At Kurenai's apartment. She arrived at her house and took off her clothes in order to take a little shower. Her mind just couldn't stop thinking about the Black Wolf Anbu. It was something about him that resembled her Naruto, but she was remembering the phrase he used and she had never seen anyone so cold before in her life. When she went to sleep, she remembered what Tsunade told him and how he suffered because he lost his loved one. Somehow, Kurenai thought that Tsunade was mentioning Naruto's history for her and it was she who broke his heart. Suddenly, the pain in her heart grew and she couldn't bear anymore. She was trembling with fear, just thinking that she was somehow responsible for turning Naruto into a cold-hearted shinobi. Her mind was trying to compare Naruto and the Black Mask ANBU, although she was confused because of the inner personalities of both of them. Sure, in appearance, they are similar, but inside they are two different persons. When 2 a.m. appeared on her alarm clock, Kurenai was caught thinking about him so much, she wasn't able to sleep. After some time, Kurenai's body overcame the mind and she was asleep, of course, dreaming about her beloved blonde. Kurenai was in her apartment, it was daylight, and she was just awakening when she looked through the windows. It was him, the Black Wolf Mask ANBU, standing on a roof near her house. Suddenly, they exchanged looks and he came over to her window asking like an extreme gentleman. "Did you get a good night's sleep, Kurenai?" "Him. I sure did, ANBU-san." Kurenai's outfit was rather provocative to say the least. After that, the Black Mask ANBU entered the apartment, taking off his mask, showing her beloved Naruto with golden hair shining even more because of the sun, and he gave her a sudden passionate kiss that made her tremble so much on the inside, after all she enjoyed so much when he was dominating her. She could feel his strong arms and chest with lots of scars all over, signifying his experience as a warrior, as both of them were hugging tighter and kissing longer than ever before, showing their passion towards the other. When Naruto went to her neck, her breath stopped for a second and the hormones kicked in, making her moan a lot because of it. If someone watched Kurenai sleeping, she would go from side to side, moaning Naruto's name, as if she was dreaming about what would be like if he just showed up, threw her to bed and just possessed her sexually. Unfortunately for Kurenai, someone was indeed watching and taking mental notes of her situation. Not one, but two of her best friends watched her moaning Naruto's name, as if he was making love to her in such a way that even her two friends became aroused at the way Kurenai was describing her dream, even though she was asleep. "Kurenai, wake up," said Anko. "What? Oh my god, what time is it?" "Relax, it's just 6:30 a.m, we wanted to have breakfast together, but according to what we heard, I think you want to be alone for some time," said Yuigao with a fox grin. "What are you talking about, Yuigao?" "Oh my god, Naruto, continue, don't stop, please," something like that, teased Yuigao. "I dreamed about him, it was wonderful. He was all over my body, kissing just every part of it in such a cool and hot way that I just couldn't help myself and..." "We got the point, Kurenai, you don't need to tell us." Yuigao was already sweating from her hormones, she knew one thing, though, she was definitely talking to Hei tonight. "Yuigao, in all my life, I've never been like this before and I think you know who he is, since he is your coworker." "My coworker? Do you mean Black Wolf is Naruto? Konoha's most feared wolf, Black Wolf is Uzumaki Naruto, once being called a brat by Kakashi-senpai, that Naruto." Yuigao was speechless, but not surprised. Black Wolf was one of the strongest and most mysterious member of ANBU, but not once did she thought that he was the guy. "Wait, did you say Black Wolf?" asked Anko, showing her fear to her friends. "Yeah, why? I got to know him. Everyone I know is afraid of him. Some say that he is a wolf disguised as a human because of the way his eyes look when he shows killer intent. Is Black Wolf Naruto?" "I believe so." "Wait, does Anko, the one who isn't scared by anything in this world, is afraid of ANBU?" giggled Yuigao. "Have you ever seen him, Yuigao?" "If Kurenai is right, Black Wolf and I rescued teammate from the hands of Kumo last night." And to believe that Kakashi at first said that Naruto wouldn't ever be suited for ninja duty, I want to ask him now that he became one of ANBU's elite," said Kurenai. After Kurenai took a quick wake-up shower, the three took their breakfast together, but still talking about the mysterious member of ANBU, aka the Black Wolf. And to say that Yuigao was surprised was understatement, she was astonished since she knew that Naruto left to train with one of the Sanin's Jiraiya and became a Chunin in Kumo. What was most surprising for her was the fact that one known Ice Queen of Konoha was falling in love with him. But Kurenai-chan, if Black Wolf is in fact this Naruto, what was that "it's our job" thing that he told yesterday, like he didn't feel anything? Said Yuigao, almost punching herself after receiving a kick from below the table from Anko and seeing the sudden look on Kurenai's face. "I heard him and I feel terrible for it. You see, we dated for some time. It was 3 years ago, Naruto had left with Jiraiya-sama for about 6 months, and Tsunade-sama assigned me as well as 2 Chunins on a mission towards the Iwa border. When we arrived close to the border, 2 Iwa Anbus attacked us, knocking the 2 Chunins in an instant and dispelling the eye cast upon them, so I was surrounded and already fearing for the worst, to be either tortured to death or be raped. Then, from out of a sudden, a golden blur literally flew by knocking both Anubis with a single kunai, striking the Anbu's neck. It was Naruto, but not the Naruto I came to know when he was a genin, a grown one, with a chunin vest and extremely handsome. The Tails, my friend, I know I heard this story before, but we'd like you to describe a little better about his appearance. Okay, then. After he saved me from the Iwa Anubis, he lifted his head and looked directly at me with a slight grin that normally a person at his age wouldn't have because of his supposed lack of experience. When I looked at him, I was feeling as if his eyes had already owned me in such a way. The sun was sending some light on his hair and I at that time could have sworn that his hair was pure gold. Okay, then, what did he do after saving you? Tell us, Kurenachan, you're killing me. Asked Yuigao. He looked at my eyes and said, are you okay, Kurenahim? Get out of here, I never get a home with Hayatakin, I'm a little jealous, okay continue. Since those abuses kunai pierced my shoulder, Naruto did some hand seals and his hands turned green with healing chakra, he gently put it on my shoulder healing the wound. At first, I was amazed at the warmth of his hand, but then when I caught a glimpse at his eyes, that's when my heart pounded. His eyes were cerulean blue, clearer than the ocean water, I was speechless. After that, I managed to ask him why he helped me. Flashback on. Naruto healed Kurenai's wound like a perfect gentleman, caressing gently with his warm hands, and Tsunade started feeling something that she hadn't felt before, love. But being the professional she was, she turned to Kunoichi and started asking. Naruto, why did you save me? I was wondering about these woods, when I sensed someone in danger, then I managed to kill them and save you, as to why I saved you, I don't think I need a reason to. Baka, those are Iwa Anubis, you were foolish to confront them, like you did. You are just a genin, yet. Aside the fact that the way you sounded makes me want to kill myself, I'm no longer I'm a. Sorry about that, but when were you promoted? After some new competition being held in Kumo, I managed to beat every I encountered, earning the title. They just sent the message to Tsunade-sama and she returned it with this chunin vest. Now come to think about it, Kurenai-san, you have beautiful eyes, they're like two shiny rubies. Said Naruto, earning a blush from Kurenai. Naruto-kun, Kurenai was taken aback by Naruto's compliment, as well as more blushed by the kun added to his name, but she would be more blushed because of what Naruto would be about to say. Oh, just hold on a moment, Kurenai-chan, it seems your teammates need rescue, as well. Said Naruto healing both of them. And, done, well, they are fine, but they need some rest, Kurenai-chan, follow me to a tent I have nearby, so we can treat them. Said Naruto, earning a nod from Kurenai. So, tell me, Naruto-kun, you have changed a lot since I last met you, and I'll be honest, I didn't expect you to grow this much. Arigato. You know the thing is the one you met before wasn't the real me. As a matter of fact, I appeared to be annoying, smiling a lot, so people would forget about my situation, but my plan didn't work at all, since everyone thought of me as being Kyuubi, so I metaphorically took off my mask shortly after leaving Konoha. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring back sad memories. Don't worry about it and for all I know those won't stop happening. Said Naruto, showing Kurenai just how painful it really is to carry such a burden. But, why didn't you say this to anyone? I was afraid that those who didn't know would know and start to hate me for something I didn't do or even ask for it. Kurenai was taken aback. She never took the time to know him the way he is now and a feeling rushed upon Kurenai, love, for the first time in her life, she knew what she had to do. She reached him and gave a profound hug to the blonde, making the sexual intent rise between the two of them, resulting in a passionate kiss from both of them. After some intense fight between them in order for the kiss to be unforgettable, they broke it for a little bit of air and a moan out of their mouths were quite hearable. Oh my god, Naruto-kun, where did you learn to kiss like that? I don't know, Kurenai-chan, I just wanted to kiss you so badly, I just went for it. And let me tell you, if it's a dream, I don't want to wake up. Me neither. With that, they gave another passionate kiss that lasted another 5 minutes. At this point, both their hormones were sky high and the only thought passed through their minds was making love with each other. So, Kurenai took off Naruto's blouse and was aroused by his puff chest and his six-packs, so she started rubbing his chest with her tongue and her hand. Then, Naruto took her chin, raising her face up to his and stole another kiss, making Kurenai moan inside. After the kiss, Naruto started taking Kurenai's vest off, making her topless. With the help of his tongue and his warm hand, he started massaging her breasts, making Kurenai cry in pain for his name, while biting her lips a little bit. Oh, Naruto-kun, don't stop, keep going. Where do you want me, Kurechan? Down here. As you wish, Kurenai-him. When Naruto started licking Kurenai's private area, she just couldn't control her body anymore since ecstasy took over. To say she was liking was an understatement, she was loving every second of it, up to the point that she grabbed his hair and pulled with such force, as well as squeezed her pussy, showing that she was about to explode from such pleasure. Oh my god, Naruto-chan, I'm coming, screamed Kurenai. Do you like it, Kurehim? Are you crazy? I loved it. Naruto, tell me, and if you say no, I'll kill you right here. What is my? Do you have protection with you? Yeah, I have, Jiraiya-sensei lent me some. Oh my god, Naruto, I can't just wait, pick one, and please take advantage of me, please. Hi. After Naruto put on his protection, Kurenai pushed him to the ground, sitting on top of Naruto's cock, making her scream out of pleasure. After some time of Kurenai going up and down his cock, Naruto, out of the blue, just threw her to the ground and stuck it in with such force as to earn a huge moan from Kurenai. Nice move, Naruto, just take advantage of me and continue what you're doing, please, because it's so good. Suddenly, an extreme heat came for both of them, signifying that they were literally on fire, being extremely wet. Suddenly, Naruto felt a new sensation, indicating that he was about to cum. Oh, Kurenai-chan, I'm cumming. Oh, me too, please cum inside, I beg you. But. Don't worry about it, we're protected, I just want to feel your dick fill every space inside my pussy. Oh, I can't hold anymore, Kurenai-chan, I love you. I love you too, Naruto. Flashback off. And that's how we've met. Said to her friends, still remembering her dream, as well as earning 2 glasses of women panting because of their hormones being kicked in. Oh my god, I'm definitely seeing hate today, I can't hold this any longer, what's wrong with me, am I picturing Naruto and Kurenai having sex, oh my god, god this is killing me, Yuga's thought rushed through her mind like crazy. Yuga-chan, are you alright? You look like you're sweating over there, you're not picturing me and Naruto in your head, now are you, cause if you are, please stop it, it's very perverted. Said Kurenai, for Yuga to just snap out of her little dream. Oh no, Kurenai-chan, I was just thinking about my boyfriend, that's all, haha she lied, damn I have to control myself when I see Black Wolf, if I see him I'll start imagining him taking over Kurenai and just taking control of the situation, showing her who is dominating, oh my god, I'm sweating again. Kurenai-chan, I'm speechless. The way you told, I could imagine how big your love is for him. Yuga said, almost caressing her own body for an instant, much to the dismay of Kurenai, who just cursed herself from telling such a story to 2 of the most perverted women in Konoha. Yeah, I wonder if I'll ever have that again. So, tell me, how did you hurt him, Kurenai-chan? Asked Yuga, after receiving a kick from under the table by Anko. What? It's okay, Anko-chan, when I arrived at Konoha from my mission, I don't know why, but I suddenly had a feeling that it wouldn't be right to be with a guy half my age, so I decided to look for another one closer to my age. When he returned from his trip, he saw me with Asuma and was crushed. And now, my heart is crushing me again, oh my god. Here you go, Kurenai. Said Anko. I think he still loves you, Kurenai-chan. How do you know that? Because of the way he acted, when I mentioned your name when you're captured, he wasn't worried about his friends, but he was with you. Said Yuga, cheering Kurenai. I hope you're right. You will meet him tonight, won't you? Hi. So, tell him just how you feel. Just come to him, as if you were still in your dream and tell him how you feel. Thank you, Yuga-chan and Ako-chan. I will. At 8, all the 3 of them went different ways and Kurenai was cheerful again, she would get together with her love. Chapter 5 The Encounter. Naruto woke up the next day, with sudden feelings all over the place. After he came home from the teammate retrieval mission, somehow seeing Kurenai again made him feel occasional chest pains that were driving him insane. When he realized that Kurenai was captured by Kumo Shinobis, he could feel anger, not anger, since he didn't want to rely on the fox anymore, but killing intent anger, he wanted to save her more than anything. If this happened before he became ANBU, he would charge against the Kumo Shinobi, head-on without thinking twice, probably causing his and her death in the process. Naruto realized that in the past, his actions couldn't be more wrong. He cursed himself for not thinking about changing before. If he changed, no one would have to suffer to protect him like the way people did before. Naruto got out of the bed and went to the kitchen to grab some breakfast, waking up Ace, who was sleeping on the couch. The wolf saw Naruto's face and eyes and managed to see everything that he needed to know. Naruto was sad, angry and disappointed at himself and Ace, just by looking at him, could read him like an open book. In fact, over time, Ace became the only one who understood Naruto, ever. Sure there was Iruka, Kakashi, Kurenai, Sandaime, Tsunade, Jiraiya and some of the rookie 9, but Ace was the one Naruto could count to share some feelings with, and both of them knew that. What's the matter, kid? I can see in your eyes, is there something wrong? I'm disgusted at myself for not realizing before that I was weak and didn't do anything about it. Now it's already late. If I'd realized 2 years ago, when I graduated from the academy, I would be much stronger and people wouldn't have to underestimate me or downsize me. If I showed everyone that I didn't have to resort to his power all the time, then they would drop this hatred. Not everyone can fight the demon's will, kid, I already told you that. Back when you were at the academy, you didn't have the experience you have now, thanks to your time at ANBU Special Forces and our battles together. But you've got to realize that your past is far gone now, and there is only the present and the future. No one can live based on past events, you have to live according to the present and the future. I know that, but if I were stronger before, then. For the love of God, kid, stop whining about the past, cause no good can come of this. I'm sorry I have to say this, but your past has to be forgotten so that the present and the future can appear. If you let past obscure your judgment, you'll never grow up and may well end up dead in battle. Ace understood Naruto, but he had to improve his self-esteem a little bit. Kid, you're one of Konoha's elite ANBU, you should be proud of what you accomplished right now. You're right, Ace, sorry for that, I guess that I let my emotions get in the way again. Kid, your emotions are what keep you alive in the first place, without instinct, you're no different than any cold-hearted murderers who are just in for the kill. It came at the time for you to do something that let you cope with your stressful missions. But I believe that you already got one, don't you? You have the heart to protect this village, so that's not a problem. There is another issue in your mind, isn't it? How can you tell? When I looked into your eyes, I felt 3 different kinds of emotions, sad, disappointment and anger. And I pretty much remember how your eyes were shining yellow yesterday of anger towards the kidnappers of teammates, said Ace, much to the surprise of Naruto, which by this time, knew that he couldn't hide anything from his friend and partner in battle. I can't hide anything from you, now can I? No, you cannot, now how is it that cat-masked ANBU? Or is it a Genjutsu specialist? Her name is Kurenai. By the look in your eyes, I can tell that you have feelings for her. Yeah, pretty much. I think I may be in love with her. During my training trip with Jiraiya-sensei, I came to encounter her, being cornered by 2 Iwa Anubis, so I rescued her, killing them. When we exchanged looks, it was like time stopped and I could see those blood-red ruby eyes looking at mine. After that, it was safe to say that I had the best week of my life with her, but she had to return to Konoha to report for her failed mission and disappeared. When I returned home, I went to look for her only to know that she was with another man. Explained Naruto, while Ace was paying attention. She broke your heart, didn't she? A lot actually. I've had a glimpse about her, as well, kid, and I can tell people's emotions just by looking through people's eyes. I can say that she is feeling just like you're feeling right now. If you're telling me that both of you exchanged looks and then connected, I can tell you this, she feels the same about you. I just hope you're right, Ace, now we've got to go to ANBU headquarters, if you want, breakfast is on the table, I'll be taking a shower and putting on my ANBU gear. Thanks, I was kind of hungry, said Ace as he lay down on the couch once again. After some time, Naruto appeared in the living room with his ANBU uniform with his black mask on his hand, looking at Ace. When he puts on that mask, he is no longer Naruto, he is Black Wolf, and he knew that. Once he put on the mask, he became focused on the task at hand. They exchanged looks with each other and then went out of the apartment. Both of them went jumping rooftops so fast that the naked eye could only see the black blurs, and then it was gone. While they were jumping, they passed one Reid Kunoichi's apartment, and surprisingly enough, she was looking at the window when Black Wolf and Ace were passing by, and she saw them passing in less than a second, but that was enough for Black Wolf and Kurenai to look at each other. At Kurenai's apartment. She still had some time until she had to meet teammate, so she just stood near her window, looking at Konoha getting ready for the day, since shops were starting to open and the people were starting to gather through the streets. She was, then, looking at the sky, wondering how her beloved was doing, she was wondering what to tell him when they would meet at the West Gate at midnight. She was confident that they could be together again, and her heart would finally beat the normal way, she couldn't take that anymore, every day it pounded harder and just couldn't stop. Today would be the day that she would confess her love to him. Suddenly, she felt 2 very strong signatures coming close to her and she tensed a little bit. When the 2 blurs appeared in front of her, she was shocked, it was him and a big black wolf, it was Black Wolf ANBU, aka Uzumaki Naruto, and somehow she saw his blue cerulean eyes for 1 second, time enough to show her that Black Wolf was in fact Naruto, and she was extremely happy. She would get him back to her again and no one would stop that. Teammates' training ground. Kurenai was the first one to arrive, since she got up earlier. A few minutes later, Hinata and Kiba arrived, then Shino arrived just moments later. Good morning, team, how are you doing, greeted Kurenai, seeing their faces. What happened to you, guys, what everyone is sad about? It's about our last mission, Kurenai-sensei, we were captured by Kumo Shinobis and we had to resort to outside help. Kiba said, speaking from his team, while earning nods from the other 2. I see. It was your first failure, wasn't it? Yeah, that was hard for me too. But what you've got to do is train harder so that this won't happen again. Hi, Kurenai-sensei. But something about that black mask ANBU really intrigues me, right Akamaru? Everyone looked at Kiba, seeing that he was the only one still clueless of the fact that the Black Mask ANBU was in fact Naruto. "What about him, Kiba?" asked Kurenai, trying not to tell the truth about the Black Mask ANBU to Kiba, since the other two did already know about it. "Well, I felt like I already knew him, somewhat, but he used, it vanished any of my expectations in order to recognize him. I don't know any users other than yourself, Kurenai-sensei. Kiba, ANBUs are considered Konoha's best shinobis, it's no wonder they are as strong as you've noticed. But I can guarantee Kiba that you know him better than you think you do, in fact I think that everyone in here knows who he is, but since he wears a mask, it's for a reason, and you should tell no one about this, got it?" After a nod from their team, they separated from each other for a light spar, Kurenai and Hinata, Shino and Kiba. "So, Kurenai-sensei, do you finally manage to see the Black Masked ANBU?" "I did. I could see his eyes as he was flying by next to my apartment, but there was another creature with him, something like a wolf, it was quite strange." "Did you think he got the wolf contract, he could be his summoner?" "Maybe, but I've never seen a summon walk close to the summoner all the time. I believe that the wolf is like Akamaru is to Kiba." "There is a possibility, Kurenai-sensei, but maybe he is both a summoner and his partner." "A summon and a partner? Could it be?" "I don't know, Hinata." After about 3 hours of training, teammates said their goodbyes to each other since they didn't have any missions today, much to Kurenai's happiness, cause she would be furious if the one time she was to meet Naruto, Tsunade would send them on a mission. Kurenai was walking through the crowded streets of Konoha, minding her own business, thinking about her encounter date with the blonde ANBU elite when a message was delivered to her by the Hokage's personal hawk. "Tsunade-sama, if you put me on a mission, you regret." At Tsunade's office. When Kurenai entered Tsunade's office, she was already expecting to be sent on a mission, cursing her luck. She entered and saw not only Tsunade, but Jiraiya as well, looking at her with a small grin on their faces. "What are those two planning?" "Kurenai, please take a seat." "Hi, Hikage-sama, Jiraiya-sama, what can I be of service?" "Actually, it's about your encounter with Black Wolf tonight while he is doing border patrol near the West Bridge. You were able to see how he reacted when you thanked him for saving all of you, right? So, you know as I know that he's no longer the same Naruto everyone used to know. It seemed that he joined ANBU with two purposes and I believe that he will share them with you, since what I know it's only a lucky guess. After all this time, I don't know anyone that can be so unpredictable like him. When I met him the first day, I couldn't stand his bouncing all the time. After some time, I became used to him and he referred to me as Bachan. When he returned and called me Tsunade-sama, my heart froze instantly, suddenly the Naruto standing in front of me wasn't the real him and I even believed he was brainwashed. During his time in ANBU, he grew a lot stronger, faster, fearless and emotionless. It was not because of the mask, everyone could see ANBU's eyes, but when he showed his eyes to me, it was the first time I sensed fear just by looking at someone. I figured that I was surprised because of his sudden change of feelings. The reason why I'm telling you this is because you'll be meeting him and given the fact that what you've done to him, I'm worried about. Tsunade was cut short by Kurenai. I know what I did to him, Tsunade-sama. I know very much. Every time I think of him or when I see him or even when I hear his voice, my heart stops and every time I have a feeling of extreme regret for what I've done to him. Tsunade-sama, Jiraiya-sama, I know how you like him as well. I think that you guys see him as a son figure and he too cares deeply for both of you. I know that because he told me when we were together in the forest. I don't know why he doesn't call you like you're used to, maybe if he did, he would give away his identity to anyone, I don't know. Kurenai, you have to realize that Naruto fights an everyday battle with Kyuubi, he just can't give in to his emotions, just like anyone," said Jiraiya. "With all due respect to both of you, but Naruto isn't a kid anymore, he has killed already, killed without the Kyuubi's influence, he cared for everyone in this village, even though no one cared for him. He has become a part of ANBU's elite, a fate that many shinobi here, with much less burden than Naruto, and still couldn't be able to do what he did. Do not underestimate him or treat him like some sort of child who doesn't know what he's doing, because if that was true, then Kyuubi would have destroyed us all years ago. Naruto controls it, Naruto shows it who's in charge. And on top of that, he managed to melt my heart by only looking directly through my eyes, something that I once thought that no man could ever do," said Kurenai, bursting with tears and extremely proud of defending Naruto like she did. Tsunade and Jiraiya were flabbergasted by Kurenai's outburst, sure they knew that she and Naruto had a relationship, but until now, Kurenai didn't prove that she was in love with him. They have the same thought in their minds as to why he became what he did and they managed to realize that their adopted son was already a man, a shinobi of the leaf, deadly to his enemies and caring to the ones precious people to him. The reasons why Naruto became ANBU was to get stronger and protect everyone from Akatsuki, since they would come after him, with his disappearance, nobody would have to protect him because of his burden. Kurenai, on behalf of the Sanin's name and Godame, we humbly apologize for what we said. You're right, we underestimated him in a way, we didn't expect him to get this far, and up to now we weren't entirely sure about your feelings for him. Now that you showed us just exactly how you feel about him, I can say that you guys will have a great future together. Now I know the reason why he became ANBU, and I believe that you know as well, right? To protect everyone from the burden he carries, so he doesn't have to worry about other ones protecting him from the Akatsuki," said Kurenai, with tears still falling, while earning nods from Jiraiya and Tsunade. Right. Kakashi was right after all. This is the real Naruto. The one we used to know was actually wearing a cheerful mask all the time, hiding his true self. Naruto with a black mask vowed to carry alone his burden, and he would prefer to kill himself if that is what it would take to protect his precious people. We don't have to worry about his condition because he is already all grown up and is a real ninja of the leaf, no less, no more. Kurenai was relieved to say the least, she didn't know why she outburst like that in front of not only two Sanins, but also the Godame, but she didn't regret what she said, since those words were true. Sure she was a professional, sure she was respectful, but somehow she felt like she had to back Naruto up from these two, and she felt extremely proud of what her love had accomplished just out of his confidence and inner strength, and to think that he was willing to carry the Kyuubi's burden all by himself, it amazed her even more, now that she thought about it. Kyuubi was responsible for the worst attack in Konoha since its foundation, and Naruto is the one to control the beast with his own body. He would prefer to kill himself than to let anyone suffer because of what he was chosen to restrain. Tsunade-sama, it's getting late, is there anything else you need me for? No, Kurenai, you're dismissed. Sorry for what we said, we didn't put into consideration how much you wanted to be with him, and that just proves that he has the heart of a warrior, and that his legend would continue. I'm looking forward to seeing what you two would accomplish together. Hi, Hikage-sama, I know we will. At ANBU's headquarters. It was already 9 p.m., and those who didn't have families to go to would stay in case there was an emergency call for the Hokage. In the training ground, you could see Black Wolf fighting against Hawk. These two were the ultimate ANBU's duo, and they have accomplished a lot of missions together. BAS ranked mission, you name it. Each one protects the other. And their combined attacks proved to be unstoppable, since Black Wolf's wind part affinity would enhance Hawk's fire to an extent that they could wipe out an army with just two, Gakakyu no fire style. Great Fireball and Black Wolf's Tatapa. Now, they were only focusing on Taijutsu contests, both of them were panting a little bit because both of them happened to have great chakra reserves and could hold on longer than almost everyone in ANBU. Both of them went charging at each other, with their chakra-enhanced arms almost crashing together, creating a little wave of chakra through the training area, breaking a few windows, because of that. When they noticed, they decided to stop for fear that the bill would be sent to them, so they stopped and laughed a bit like they were buddies their whole life. Naruto found a friend in ANBU, a colleague and a rival all in the same person, likewise Hawk did. Black Wolf's one sadness in the morning was long gone, and Ace was a witness to that. He was watching their fight and was quite impressed with their moves. Ace had to realize that he did change as well, he had seen a partner in Naruto and a friend, so he was not a lone wolf anymore, now he traveled alongside another wolf, just as deadly and just as strong. Ace found a home in Konoha, and he enjoyed going to the Hokage monument with Naruto to just watch the sunset's effect on Konoha. That was their place. Oxen, it's almost time for my mission of border patrol, I really should get going. If you ask me, I think you're crazy for doing these hell border patrol missions, and I think you're even more crazy for volunteering for this, Hawk said. Hey, I don't complain, it's peaceful and quiet out there, ANBU needs that every once in a while, and that was how I met Ace, so I don't regret volunteering. Said Naruto looking at Ace. I guess you're right, we see just so much crap, it's sometimes nice to just relax a bit, too bad I like the rush of our missions. Don't get too soft, Black Wolf, or I might just kick your ass the next time. Now who is crazy talking? Black Wolf, I'm off for tonight, see you tomorrow. See ya. So, Ace, let's head to the West Gate for our mission, Naruto said, and Ace just disappeared, playing a little game. Oh, so it's like that, isn't it? Come here, you, I'll get you for this. Let's just see you try. Don't push your luck, you're just winning because you had a head start. In less than 10 minutes, Naruto and Ace traveled all the way to the West Gate until they reached their favorite spot, a log that faced the river which in time mirrored the image of the full moon, much to the wolves' happiness, since they both enjoyed the beauty of the moon, reflecting through the calm river water. Also, Naruto could just relax hearing the sound of the calm water making its way towards another river very slowly, sending Naruto a natural sound that brought him utter peace. With Kurenai. When she looked at the clock, it was only 1 minute to midnight, so she opened her door and started jumping rooftops to reach there in a peaceful way, so as to not alert any other ANBUs. She was wondering a bit before looking at the sky and noticed that today it was a full moon and the beauty of it was just indescribable to her. Little did she know that her lover was staring at the same view from his spot by the woods. Her heart was beating steady now, showing her that her decision of meeting him was the best thing to do. She would go there and confess her love to him, like she should have done a while ago when he returned from his training trip. When she reached the enormous gate, she ironically compared the size of the gate with Naruto, seeing that he was everything to her, he would protect her, just like these gates would protect Konoha. She saw an opening on the gate which could only mean that Black Wolf had passed through the gate and was fulfilling his mission. She was wondering why Naruto chose to be here every week on this particular date, patrolling the west board. She came to learn from Tsunade that Naruto did volunteer for this kind of mission, and she didn't know why he did this. Does he sleep once in a while? She was amazed at how much stamina Naruto had if he could be a part of ANBU Elite and still be up until this time. But then, again, this would be one of the many things that were impressive about him. Since she saw him on the forest, he was everything a woman could ask for in a man. Loving, caring, respectful and quite handsome. Kurenai blushed at the last compliment. She remembered how he looked like back then and she wondered how much he grew physically all this time. As she passed the gate, she noticed that the full moon was illuminating everything and that the forest would receive constant moonlight, demonstrating to her this ultimate view of a forest being illuminated by the full moon. She was flabbergasted, she couldn't have thought of a better place or a better time to do what her heart intended for her to do all along. When she was walking towards a small river, her jaw dropped all the way to the ground. She was paying close attention to the way the moon's reflection on the river would be so damn beautiful, and yet she couldn't find her lover or any trace of his chakra signature. She was beginning to feel like she was too late, thinking that he did already leave, but she took away that thought, since his mission would end in another 15 minutes, and he had to be here. Suddenly, her eyes shifted the moon's reflection on the river and noticed a figure seated on a log near a four-legged creature. As she was approaching the guy, her heart started beating fast, but it wasn't like anything she felt before, it was beating in anticipation of meeting again with her lover. A few more steps, she could already see the black mask ANBU sitting there staring at the moon as well. Suddenly, she heard two words that made her heart feel much better. Two words that only the one blonde companion could say, seeing that he was the one who gave the compliment to Kurenai when they met at the Iowa forest. Red Rose, whispered Naruto, still looking at the reflection of the moon, or at least from Kurenai's view of where he would be looking. It's been a while, and Kurenai's professional tone would never be lost, as she earned the rank of Konohas for a reason, although she was just waiting to tell him about her feelings for the blonde. 2.5 years. It's astonishing to me that you could be more beautiful than before, Kurenai-san. Even though Naruto was still on a mission and still hidden behind the black wolf mask, that didn't mean that he couldn't be himself, that didn't mean that he couldn't be charming and romantic to the one woman who earned his heart like no one had before in his life. But still, she was the one that also tore it apart when started dating another man, and although Naruto wanted to move this thought from his head, he couldn't, at least not by his own will, not yet anyway. ANBU can change a man's way of thinking after some horrified views of battle scenes and body parts just hanging from trees. Still charming as ever, I see. You've become strong blue eyes, your name is becoming very famous throughout the Shinobis, you know. Konoha's Black Wolf. Naruto turned his mask to see the beauty who sat next to him on the log. He never knew that his name was in every shinobi in Kunoichi's dialogue, nor that he cared about gossip. Gossip was one of the many things he despised, since only a few comments were true, and those were highly changed to make a compelling story to the ones who liked to hear. But the name Kurenai mentioned, he was really thinking about. She never called him by the color of his eyes and was caught wondering if Kurenai did that in order to give ANBU a compliment without giving away his cover. I don't tend to believe in rumors and gossip, Kurenai-san, all of them are highly overrated and the person would change the events only in order to give the story more emotions. But I know that you don't believe what people say, do you, Kurenai-san? Asked Naruto with an emotionless tone behind his mask. What he didn't notice until just now, that he couldn't take his eyes off hers. It was like they were exchanging looks all over again. Normally I wouldn't, but the stories came from God Imisama herself, so I don't think she would make a story up just to screw your status to everyone. All Tsunade-sama knows about it's the mission, it's that either was accomplished or failed, since she only has a report to base her stories on, she doesn't know what really happens at missions. But given my team's successful assignments, I could see that we're doing well. Kurenai thought for a moment, but decided to leave the thought, sure he was being modest regarding his abilities, but since ANBU worked undercover, one ANBU's abilities were only known by his colleagues, as a matter of keeping the element of surprise. I wouldn't take you for modest, ANBU-san, but even if you wouldn't recognize me, people can, I know I do, as well as Kakashi-san and the Hikage-sama. There was a time back when I was graduating from the academy when I actually cared for others' opinion about either myself or my abilities as a shinobi. Funny how time changes a person, ain't it? Kurenai knew that Naruto, back then, was only wearing his cheerful mask all the time, and she knew that the person in front of her was the real Naruto, strong, charming, respectful and determined. She loved those qualities in him as she was beginning to lose her emotionless tone on the conversation, seeing that her lover was now highly matured mentally and wouldn't say anything as to endanger any negative situation. I see, so. How's Asuma doing? There it was. He popped the question that needed to be answered in order for him to start opening his heart for her. Naruto looked at the sudden sad eyes on Kunoichi's face and knew that she was somehow ashamed regarding this issue. You were waiting to ask this question all along, didn't you, ANBU? As to the answer, I am no longer dating him. When hearing that, the turned to see her eyes studying her response and he somehow knew she was speaking the truth. As to Kurenai, she knew that she had to talk to him about it but she just couldn't keep this from him as she would be confessing his love to him. Why? Asked Naruto without the need of any other word, so to Kurenai to take a deep breath and start proceeding to her mission. I was only fooling myself with him. Deep down inside, I knew that my heart belongs to someone else and I just couldn't fool him with false hopes. It's not him, the one I'm in love with. Who is then? Naruto, since was behind his mask, managed to hide his anticipation about hearing the answer to his question. To him, she was the only one in his heart, that what it is and that what's always will be. But he didn't know she felt the same for him. His heart was starting beating again, not with anger, not with sadness, but anticipation to her if his beloved would think of him as he thought of her. The one I'm in love with, ANBU, well, I would rather show much more than tell him his name, is that alright to you, ANBU? Kurenai suddenly made a decision that she would kiss him right there, she couldn't take it anymore, even though her experience managed to control her anxiety, her heart was winning and she couldn't hold on much longer. Do as you wish, mumbled Naruto, not even bothering to display a cool response. To him, it felt like the world could end at any time if it were to depend on what Kurenai wished to show to him, but after what Kurenai intended to do, Naruto wouldn't need to worry. In what we could be seen as an ending love scene movie, Kurenai just put Naruto's entire mission at huge risk, taking away his mask in a reflex manner, putting her arms around the now unmasked ANBU, and started kissing him with enough passion that Naruto was frozen for a second. Suddenly, his heart pounded on him like crazy, and his mind was acknowledging the fact that his beloved Kunoichi was kissing him. Naruto returned the kiss with extreme pleasure as they were kissing right in front of the mirror image reflection of the full moon, making one hell of a picture, one that both of them would cherish for the rest of their lives. The moment was recorded inside their brains. After a few minutes, they break the kiss because of air, and both of them are just right to do this, as if fate had come knocking on their doors. You're in love with me, Kurenai. Aye. Ever since our little affair at the Iwa forest, I couldn't stop thinking about you, Naruto. When I returned to Konoha, I was frightened. People called me the Ice Queen of Konoha for a reason, you know. I just didn't open my heart to anyone at all, but I will not lie to you, I was afraid of our age difference, I was afraid that people would comment behind my back, I was afraid of how would our relationship would be, and out of shame and apprehension, I did the most stupid thing I've ever done in my life and started dating Asuma. I did it because I thought that it would be better if I dated people my age, but somehow I could feel that was fooling myself as my heart was already taken, and it was you, Uzumaki Naruto. For the moments we exchanged looks until we're sleeping together, I am truly sorry for what I did and beg for your forgiveness. I was weak and I didn't follow what my heart was showing me all along, it was you, Naruto-kun, and will always be you. Kurenai was now bursting through tears right now on Naruto's chest with his arms around her, showing her how he felt about her. Kurenai, suddenly, felt what her heart was showing her, it was that warm feeling she always had when Naruto hugged her with his arms and kept her safe, more like she was listening to his heart. Kurichan, when I saw you with Asuma, I won't lie to you, it hurt like hell, believe me. But as my career in ANBU was going, I just couldn't stop thinking about those blood ruby eyes of yours. When I first saw them, I instantly felt something inside my body, I was trembling. Trembling from a feeling that, until then, I haven't felt anything that could even resemble a sparkle of what it was. I had dreams about us almost every night I had clearance to rest. Since that day in the forest, I knew that I was in love with you, Kurenai, but now I think that feeling grew up to a point that I know if I lost you again, I just wouldn't know what to do anymore. I'm in love with you, Kurenai, and I'll always love you as you are now registered in my mind and in my heart. You always had a way with words, Naruto, I feel the same way, and when you're not around, somehow my chest hurts a lot, only to remind me that you're the one for me and you always will. I love you, Kurenai. I love you too, Naruto-kun. With that, they returned one deep and strong kiss with each other. If anyone would see it, it would resemble a couple trying to get back from the time they weren't together. That last kiss just counted for their 2 years apart and they were going with all their might in order to compensate for what they missed. When they broke up for air, a voice started saying it broke the attention of the couple, as well as a surprised look from Kurenai. I hate to interrupt your moment, but Black Wolf has an identity to hide while on a mission, and I would hate if any enemy came to realize that Konoha's Black Wolf was in fact Uzumaki Naruto, so you better put these away so we can go home," said Ace, holding Naruto's mask on his mouth. "Give me that, Ace, sorry, Kurenai, but my companion here is right, that kiss was the best that I ever had, but try not to take away my mask again, okay? I would hate if my enemies found out that you were with me, because they would come to you to get me." "I understand, ANBU. Do not worry about that, I enjoyed that kiss as well, but I have to say to you that I don't regret what I did for even a second, it felt wonderful and spontaneous, I've never done that before in my life, and I love to do that to you, it felt like I couldn't do better, you know. It felt wonderful alright, I'd never imagine you doing that, it felt great. Now how about we go to my place, and so we can compensate for the time lost, and then tomorrow we can have breakfast together, how just that sounds?" "I would like that, ANBU. Can I tell you something? I think you'll enjoy it pretty much," whispered Kurenai, with a foxy yet perverted grin on her face, much to Naruto's already perverted mind, while remembering the last time they had sex. "Go ahead. I always wanted to have sex with an ANBU," whispered Kurenai in Naruto's eyes with a smooth voice that awakened every one of Naruto's hormones that were asleep at the moment, making his body tremble with excitement, but since he was awakened, his prankster side awoke as well, so he joined the conversation on equal terms, showing an enhanced foxy grin that Kurenai always feared. When she saw it, she was already cursing herself for teasing her lover like that, she damn well knew it would be one hell of a night, only by seeing Naruto's foxy grin. "You now, I'm glad you feel that way, because you're in for a little ride with me tonight, that I can assure you," said Naruto to Kurenai, now whispering to her ear, making Kurenai's nose bleed just by thinking about it, and she could already feel his body on top of her own, sweating like a pig and moaning her name out of pure pleasure and lust. At Naruto's apartment lemon scene. Action. When they arrived at Naruto's apartment, he took away his mask and gave his usual smile that could send Kurenai to the skyrocket speed, and she couldn't stop drooling over him. Back when they're outside, she was so caught up in kissing him that she forgot that he now looked hotter than ever, his hair grew, showing a spike of golden hair, and that whisker marks, she could just stare at his face and die as a happy woman. If only his face was the best part of him, she would be able to control herself a little better, but as he took off his ANBU's gear and remained with a sleeveless shirt, she noticed a tattoo carved on his well-toned muscles and love scenes just popped out of her head. Just how did he get so perfectly handsome? Back then, he was already good looking, but now he's breathtaking and jaw-dropping hot. Kurenai couldn't stop thinking about it, sure she loved him for his personality and his blue cerulean eyes, but that didn't mean she could not drool like a fangirl over him, and her hormones were jumping like crazy inside of her. "I can't take it anymore, I want him now, right here, yeah, here is perfect." Naruto was staring at her a little bit confused, he didn't think for a second that Konoha's most beautiful woman would drool over him. She was beautiful, her eyes just hypnotized him and her body, well, Naruto was concentrating himself in case he had a nosebleed, he remembered seeing her naked before, he remembering even having sex with her, still he could stare at her body every day, and still he would drool for the girl his heart belonged. "Kurenai, what don't you make yourself comfortable, I'll just take my uniform off and be right back here with you," said Naruto focusing his eyes on her, like he could see through her. Okay, Naruto-kun, I will be waiting for you, you wouldn't mind if I took some of my clothes off, now would you?" said Kurenai into Naruto's teasing game. "Of course not, in fact I would even prefer that you did just that, I'll be right back for you." To say that Kurenai was melting on Naruto's couch would be an understatement, she was feeling like the inside of a volcano erupted as a thought came to her. What with all the teasing, I always curse those Icha series, and now I'm just behaving like one of the main characters, this is not me. I never teased before in my life. But Naruto is a born prankster. And he does it so well. I could as well tease him as well. Now turning to think about, he enjoy being teased, doesn't he? I better not push it though, I don't know what he could do. But then again he was known as Konoha's most unpredictable ninja. So I can't expect less from him. It's just when he teases me, I feel like I'm going out of my mind, my hormones jumps like crazy, and the only thing I can imagine is him naked on top of me pleasuring me 100%. I better took some of my clothes off, then. Let's just see how his face will be. I can't wait to see his looks when he sees me naked on his couch. Oh my god, I'm loving this. I never felt better in all my life. You're really worth a wait, Naruto-kun. When Naruto put his robe on his back and went back to his living room, his jaw dropped, he couldn't contain the nosebleed anymore, no one could in these circumstances. In front of him lay Kurenai's naked form lying on the couch with the sexiest and most teasing position he has ever seen before. It was breathtaking and he just couldn't take his eyes off her lover's hot body. Inside his mind, he was thanking Kami or whichever god for doing this. Kurenai was waving for him to come to her and just take advantage of her, right there. She was enjoying the teasing a lot and the look on Naruto's face was just what she wanted. The look a man gives when his woman appears before him, wanting him to just start kissing her and massage her entire body. But Naruto would never lose the battle, he was too damn proud of this ability. He took his eyes from her hot body and turned to look at her eyes with such passion and showing a slightly perverted grin with a mixture of deep blue and feral yellow color, stopping her dead on her tracks. She could feel that she was losing the battle, Naruto was far too strong of a fighter for her, she just couldn't handle herself anymore. When he looked at her with those eyes, she instantly turned to liquid form and was just going to vapor state, sure she was naked, but she felt like she was inside a heater and just couldn't hold anymore. Oh. My god. I give up. He is the best. What was I thinking, trying to tease him more than he did to me, I can't take it anymore, just his eyes looking at my own, it's hard to breathe, let alone try to tease him back. He could as well do anything to me, I'm his to have. Please take advantage of me, Naruto, please I beg you. Thought Kurenai. It's impossible, but your body is even more beautiful than before, Kurenai him, I could just stare at him all day. Said Naruto as he approached her. Her eyes crossed with his own, big mistake. Her heart was pounding like crazy and what he did, then, Kurenai just lost all the blood she had when Naruto took off his robe and showed his well-toned, six-packed breathtaking body to her, she was fighting like crazy not to pass out from blood loss as he was approaching her face. Then, with his hand he picked her chin with 2 fingers and lifted her head up to a position where they would kiss and they did just that. The kiss that they shared was so passionate that pheromones were licking out of their bodies, setting the perfect mood for the perfect love-making. While kissing her, Naruto just laid down so he could get on top of her, taking his hands and massaging every little place of her back, receiving some soft moan from her beloved one. From Kurenai's part, she was hugging his wide body and feeling his back muscles with such hard intensity that her soft arms could muster at him. She was feeling his back and was taken aback by how stronger he had become from his training. Right now, she lost all of the dizziness she had when she saw his body, and his hormones took control of her mind, letting her thoughts only to be focused on the blonde on top of her, kissing her passionately and rubbing his hands on her body. When they broke the kiss, Kurenai started talking. Moaning his name. Oh my god, Naruto, you are one hell of a guy, that kiss with you on top of me was just the best thing of my life, and I can't wait to see and feel what you will do to me. I really enjoyed my. Right now Naruto's lips got out of Kurenai's mouth level and started kissing her neck and breathing at them at the same time, earning a deeper moan from. After that, he started going lower with his tongue on her body, licking her all over and still massaging the other places with his hands. Right now, Kurenai was going crazy from the inside, Naruto didn't do half of the thing he did the last time and she was all wet inside. When he got down there and started licking, all hell broke and Kurenai closed her eyes, biting her lips so much, wanting to scream his name, as a form of waiting to continue and to never stop. Suddenly, his fingers were inside as well, so Kurenai just couldn't hold anymore, she had to let go, it was just too much for her to handle. Oh my. Oh my god. Oh Naruto. Naruto. I'm coming, I love you so much. Kurenai couldn't believe what happened, she didn't need much to cum, and this thought alone drove her out of her mind. If just by doing that, Naruto managed to make me cum, what would be like when he gets inside, back then, he was good, but not like he was now. Naruto-kun, you remember what I would do to you if you didn't have any condoms back then, right? So, I assume that you'd be prepared and get one for us. I do have my, it's right here, see? Right, put it on immediately and come here to me, I can't wait anymore Naruto, I want to cum harder, this time, I want to just pass out from pleasure, I want to pass out with you on top of me, now come here, I'm begging you. When Naruto showed his instrument, Kurenai moaned like crazy, remembering what she felt back then, when he was inside of her. But somehow, she was thinking that since his moves were enhanced, this one might have improved as well, and she was trembling in anticipation upon seeing him getting closer and lying on top of her, moaning her name just like she wanted when they met at the West Gate. When Naruto got inside of her, her eyes widened. She was right, this move was entirely new and she was enjoying it, she could see experience in his movements, and she could see that Naruto got a lot better at making love and making her feel like she was on top of a cloud. Naruto's was perfect for hers, since it fit her inner walls like a key through a lock. He managed to fill every part of it and she was trying to hold out from screaming his name out loud so as not to awaken his neighbors, but after a while, her mind just lost control completely and she gave up to pure ecstasy and screamed his name in pure lust. Oh, yes, keep going, Naruto-kun, it's just so damn good. Oh my god, I can't control myself. Me neither, Naruto-kun, me neither, oh my god. After 10 minutes of hard loving sex, Naruto couldn't hold anymore as he was trembling all over the place along with his partner and she was in the same situation as him. They had the same thought in their heads. If we come together, it will be the best sex we ever had indeed. About a minute later, their dream came true. Oh my god, Kurenehim, I can't take it anymore, I'm coming, I love you so much. I'm coming too, Naruto-kun, oh my god, this is perfect. It really is. Afterwards, they were lying together, with Naruto facing the ceiling and Kurenai's head at his chest, panting like crazy for lovemaking. She was enjoying his chest like it belonged to her all this time. Her head was comfortable on top of his chest, and she cherished the position they were in, it was warm, comfortable. It was right. After a while, turned to ask her lover about ANBU, as in wanting to understand a little more about her lover's ninja career. So, tell me Naruto-kun, how is ANBU? Oh, it's intense. Intense? Yeah, once you get inside ANBU HQ, either you are training to death or you're doing missions to death. They give me sleeping periods occasionally, but sometimes I have to stay up 2 nights in a row, because of a mission. I came to cherish the moments that I can sleep, but I enjoy being of service to Konoha, since everything ANBU does is of service to Konoha. I have to admit, though, being ANBU isn't easy. Of course it's not easy, Naruto-kun, but since you're a stamina freak, impossible for normal people is difficult for you. I like that, Kurenai-chan. So how is your team getting along? They are fine, Kiba is still a little bit frightened about your killing intent the other day, Hinata and Shino already know who the Black Masked ANBU is. They'll be taking the exams next year. You're still a chunin, aren't you Naruto-kun? Still a chunin? How thoughtful of you, Kurenai-chan, it hurts when you say it like that, you know. Said Naruto, earning some giggles from his girlfriend. Sorry about that, Naruto-kun, but even if you're ANBU, you have to take the test to upgrade too. Since I'm ANBU at the moment, my upgrade test is going to be much tougher than a regular test. You see, in my case, the score is to be stealthiest and deadly as possible, depending on my abilities, they will upgrade my rank as ANBU. That doesn't sound too hard, how will the test be? Well, I don't know how this year is going to be. I knew the last one because I was able to witness being held. The hopeful passes through a vent at the ceiling and has to suppress his chakra so as not to alert the chakra signature seals placed near the vent. Once inside, you have to knock 2 enemy ninjas that are guarding the vent without them even knowing you're there. Once the 2 are taken, the ninja have to dispose of the bodies so as not to alarm one enemy that circulates around the premises. Now, this one you'll have to pass by, leaving him clueless but not take him down. Once the ninja passed him, he had to get to the lower levels without even a noise, since there were noise-sensitive seals on the walls, and if your breathing is heavy enough, you're dead. Once you get to the lower level, your target is in the middle of a fake house, being guarded by more powerful and experienced shinobis, since it would be pointless to just face them, you'll have to get inside the house, without being noticed by the guards. If you manage to get inside, without being noticed, you're as good as a normal, but for ANBU standards, you'll have to eliminate the target. Now the target will be apparently alone inside the room, but there will be traps inside, now that's the tricky part, the last one they were 2 enhanced henge undercover ANBUs just waiting for you to enter, so that they could dispose of the intruder. The chunin was negligent and didn't notice his surroundings, so he was caught by the ANBUs, failing his exam. Naruto explained as Kurenai was without a breath and her jaw was down to the floor. I can see now why ANBU are tough, this test is no ordinary test, I wondered if I could get past it. And you can forget, because any chakra usage will be alerted by the seals. Only inside the house, you can use just a little. The purpose of the test is to see if you can do the job without relying on shinobi abilities. It's one hell of a test. I'm looking forward to it being held, mine will be next month. You see, for an ANBU to be able to do this test, there are a few rules. First you have to complete a considerable number of silent assassination missions and document retrieval ones, then you'll have to be able to beat a higher ranked official in a battle, or at least have a battle draw. Since my battle with Hawk, an extremely powerful ANBU and a good friend of mine, the ANBU chief thought I was ready for the test, so he listed my name for the next one. That's great, Naruto-kun, you'll be I was wondering, Naruto-kun, ever since you told me about the exam, I was curious about. Would you like to attend my test, Kurenai-chan? Yes. May I? I know that ANBU are secretive about everything, but since I'm as well, I think I can grant access to the test, now wouldn't I? I would love to see you in action, Naruto-kun. Said Kurenai, suddenly ashamed when Naruto started to laugh a little bit. Why are you laughing, Naruto-kun? Stop it. I'm sorry Kurechan. You don't need to ask for permission, Every and Konoha will watch the exam. Oh. So do you think this exam will be the same as last year's? In essence, yeah, but the details will be tougher this time. They saw my record missions and thought that a standard ANBU test wouldn't be enough to test my skills. Once back in ANBU HQ, my squad was playing a little game of hide and seek. I know, pretty childish, but the arena was full of rocks and places to hide and the light wasn't much of helping me find them. Since my new stealth ability of hiding myself from eyesight, I did some clones and each of them found my squad, scaring the shit out of them. It was funny as hell. Now, about this ability of yours. How does it work? This ability I learned from my partner Ace. The wolves have a technique that they can focus their chakra on their shadows and they start to exhale an aura that shows like their colors mixed with the night, hiding their shape so that anybody can see them. I did the same thing. I suppose this is an assassination technique, then? Yes it is, but it can only be done at night. I see, Naruto-kun, I'm getting pretty tired, let's go to bed so we can rest a bit. When Naruto nodded, he lifted from the couch and carried Kurenai's body like a princess to his bed. It was safe to say that she was already asleep on his arms, seeing that they were comfortable. Then Naruto lied down on the bed and they returned to their sleeping position as both of them were feeling better about themselves just by sleeping together. Next day lemon sequence. Cut. In the morning, Naruto got out of bed earlier than Kurenai since he didn't need lots of hours to sleep and started making breakfast for her. Naruto, even though a highly skilled military ninja, treated his girlfriend with most care, bringing her breakfast in bed while kissing her on the lips for her to wake up. She was having one hell of a dream with her lover. They were lying in the park, just seeing the transparent blue water river in front of them and Kurenai having trouble figuring if Naruto's eyes were even more beautiful than the water itself when suddenly Naruto kissed her passionately on the lips. She was in heaven. When the smell of eggs and bacon passed through her, she slowly opened her eyes and saw her lover there sitting alongside her with a small table on top of the bed, showing a lovely breakfast buffet with eggs, bacon, cinnamon breads, some juice and the coffee and milk. Naruto-kun, you didn't have to do this, all of this smells good, and did you make this? After a nod, she was marveled at the abilities that her boyfriend had. Glad you like it, Kurahim, I made everything you like for breakfast. Thanks again, Naruto-kun, everything is delicious. After some breakfast, the two of them went for a walk on Konoha's streets. The shops were beginning to open and the people were starting to appear on the streets because of the fact that Naruto is now ANBU. Everyone thought the demon brat died or went Nukenin. They kept looking at the new couple holding hands and were marveled at the scene. They saw that Naruto and Kurenai were perfect for each other. He was a little taller than her, so she was holding her arms, leaning her head on his shoulder, much to Naruto's amusement. Tsunade was passing along, heading for the administration building when she saw it. She saw Kurenai hugging the arms of a tall blonde guy with deep blue eyes with whisker marks on his face. Wait, whisker marks? Is that in Naruto? My god, he looks like his father so much, I haven't seen his face in a long time, and now he's all grown up and with beautiful and experienced looks. God, if I were half my age, I would want some of that piece of meat. What I'm thinking. It's Naruto crying out loud, and it seems that Kurenai already nailed him, they look so great together. You can't even see the age difference, you're really something like Naruto. After a while, Naruto noticed one of his comrades hiding inside the alley and informed him that he is to present to ANBU HQ in 2 hours for a meeting with Hawk. After he nodded for the shadow, she disappeared. Once they returned to Naruto's home, they began to talk. Ah, Naruto-kun, I'm really glad we got back together. I'm glad as well, Red Rose, I missed you a lot. I missed you too, oh my god, I am late, I promised my team I would arrive a little early for some practice. It's okay, I have to go to ANBU HQ as well, I would like to take you to dinner tomorrow, Kurenai-chan, how does that sound? Of course I accept, Naruto-kun, in case neither of us has a mission, pick me up tomorrow at 9 at my place. It's settled then, and choose the place you want to go, okay? Okay, then, see you Naruto-kun. See you Kurenai-chan, love you. Love you. After their goodbyes, they got separated and went about their duties when suddenly both of them turned and looked at each other, smiling at each other, showing that their future will be as bright as ever. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the next part, don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Please like, subscribe, and comment below to let me know your thoughts. Check out my other videos for more content you might enjoy. Until next time, take care.